again, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, get a big stretch. Oh, get a big stretch going. Whew. All right. Get a big stretch and get started with the stream. So we are back. Welcome back to all of you who were watching earlier this morning or earlier today, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back. We are back live. What is up, Michael Strofolino? Welcome, welcome. So we are back live. At this point, what we're going to be doing, this is going to be the portion of today's show where we are actually going to boot up a couple of different POBs. And from there, we're going to give some advice, some useless advice, to a couple of you different viewers that have asked for feedback on your path of building. So there's been a lot of you that have been asking about help on your path of building. I am happy to provide that help as we can here today, as time allows. We're going to get started here with some actual in-game action, and then we will go from in-game action to actually helping with some POBs. So, Oliver, thanks for the well wishes. All did go well with the missus, so everything is going well with the baby. We had to kill the stream a little bit early today. We had to have a break in the stream because Mrs. Draconis was going in for her checkup for her and the baby. So far, baby's looking good. Mrs. Draconis is feeling good. So baby's growing well, and all things are going well. So other than that, I got to tell people about this on Discord, right? I'm supposed to post this on Discord whenever we go live, so I need to make sure that we do that. So let's grab the video URL and go post this. We are live for the second portion of the show today. We'll be featuring your POBs and giving advice, useless and otherwise, and helpful, for your builds. Come hop into chat and say hello. There we go. Alright, who wanted this? Oh, the realm is restarting in 35 minutes? Well, good. Well, we can stream for a bit and then we can do some POB. That'll be good. Downtime will be approximately 20 minutes? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Nobody believes that. It'll be hours. It'll be hours of downtime. Alright, what are we buying here? You're buying 88 Awakened? I don't have 88 Awakened. Do I? I don't. Sorry, sold out, my dude. Oh, that's right. This is what I was looking at before I started looking at your guys' POBs. I actually was looking where I can put these two lines. This is all I got. That's all I got. One X for 44? Okay, I can do that. There you go, buddy. Or not. That's fine. That moment when somebody asks for more things than what you have. Oops. Sorry. Does that ever happen to you guys? Where anybody messages you for way more than what you're actually carrying in stock right now? Awkward. It's awkward for me. Maybe not for you. That's just a bit awkward for me. Oh, Oliver, you guys are having a kiddo too. All right, there you go. 13 weeks till yours is born. Hence the move. Okay, that makes more sense now. It's your first? No reason to be nervous, my man. The best parenting training is being a parent. And also having parents. Those are probably the two best parenting training manuals that are out there. Being a parent or having a parent. Those are two very legit ways. Hey, look, Bringer of Rain. Should we build a Bringer of Rain build? What a meme. Hey, do these Sword pieces? Do they actually have... No, they don't. They don't have slots on here. Okay. That would have been kind of cool. If all the various unique pieces for unique items, for unique assembled items, would have actually had slots in the unique tab. That would have been cool. Oh, okay. So let's pull up our POBs from yesterday. Here we go. Here's one of them. All right, this is from Querque. All right, so shout out to Querque. We're about to do your POB on stream. So we message Querque, let him know, and then let's go ahead and pull up his POB, which, by the way, if you've got a POB that you'd like us to take a look at, you can send me a PM on Discord, and we will try to get to as many of these as we possibly can throughout the stream today before I go insane from looking at all of your POBs. So that's the goal. Oh, speaking of things that drive me insane, can we turn on the music in here? Do I have my music set? I think I've got it turned way down, right? There we go. There's a little ambiance, right? Just a little ambiance. All right, welcome, Querque. So we're going to take a look at Querque's witch build. And which witch is this? It looks like he's playing a minion-based build. He went down and grabbed Soul of Steel. Smart move right away. I like that. You're going Elemental Equilibrium. Okay, so you're probably using Slave Drivers or some kind of elemental damage. Maybe you're using Hatred for your scaling damage on your minions. You're also using Minion Instability. Okay, is this an SRS build? This is going to be interesting. Let's go take a look. Alright, so we've got Raised Zombie on a 4-link with Feeding Frenzy, Elemental Army, and Meat Shield. I like your setup so far. So far, I like your setup. Raised Zombie, Feeding Frenzy, Elemental Army, Meat Shield. Then you've got your SRS on your 6-link. Alright! I can dig it. So this is an SRS build. Summon Raging Spirit, Minion Damage, Unleash. Okay. That's so that way the SRS actually come out faster. Awakened Elemental Focus. Nice, it's already level 3. Minion Life and Infernal Legion. Okay, so this is a popcorn SRS build, right? Right, that's what this is? I think I'm right on this, Querque. This is, you're going SRS popcorn, right? That's why you went Minion Instability up here? Alright, you've got Stormbrand with Flammability, Curse on Hit. Okay, that makes sense. You've got Convocation, Flame Dash, Flame Offering. Okay, the only thing that I personally like to do is I try to have Flame Dash set up with faster casting, but I don't always make that work. Sometimes I'm not able to make that work. Like on this particular build, I've got faster casting and Flame Dash, but on my Necro, I don't. I just like having it because when you need to panic and get out of a situation, it's nice to be able to panic and get out of it quickly. Alright, you're using Skitterbots. Very nice. So you've got Carrion Golem, Skitterbots, Clarity, and Desecrate. You've also got Aspect of the Spider and Raised Spectre. Okay, which Spectre are you using, Querque? That's the question. Drop that into YouTube chat, which Spectres you're using. You'd like to buy my 87 stack decks for your 3 Exalted? Go for it. Let's make that trade. Ooh, I wonder if the stacked deck market, if the realm is about to go offline here, then I wonder if it'll actually be crazy when it goes back up for trades. Huh, how close are we to standard? We're actually getting pretty close to the migration, so I wonder if things will actually start to heat up a bit. Alright, so that's our gem setup. Your gem setups looks really good. Level 21 Clarity, level 20, level 20, level 20, 23, level 21, 23 SRS, 21, 23 Minion Damage, 21, 0 Unleash, 21, 23 Minion Life, 21 Infernal Legion. That's a lot. Whew! Okay, so your SRS on their Minion Instability are dealing 300,000 on each one. The total DPS is 500,000 for each SRS. That's actually a lot. You're using Undying Evangelists. Okay. I like it, so that's another defensive layer. Omnion X says, hi, do you stream on Twitch? No, I can't stand Twitch. I hate Twitch as a platform. I do not enjoy Twitch as a platform. So I stream on YouTube. That's where we put all of our content, is on YouTube. YouTube lets me take a stream directly from YouTube and put it directly onto YouTube. Technically, if you're following the rules for Twitch, you're not supposed to put stuff up on Twitch until 24 hours, I believe, is what it is. Onto YouTube or onto other platforms. I don't like the fact that Twitch also demands that they own your content. I don't like that. Anyway, I'm not going to get down that sidetrack. We're staying focused. I'm not going to turn this into a complaint fest about Twitch. So minion instability does a lot of good damage here. Is there anything else that we could add on to this? I don't think so. I'll have to go look and see if there's other popcorn builds. And see what other options there are for popcorn builds. This is a level 94 character? Are you level 94, Querque? This says you're level 96. Which one is it? Are you 94 or 96? What do you have allocated onto your... Let's go take a look at your items. What do you have on your items? You've got Grave Pact onto your items. Okay, Grave Pact, where is that? Isn't that on the bottom left? Yeah, here it is. There's Grave Pact. Minions deal 15% increased damage. Minions have 8% increased attack speed, minion accuracy rating, and 5% chance to deal double damage. Okay. I guess you had to choose between coming down and getting near elemental equilibrium or coming down through this side. So I'm sympathetic to that. I'm sympathetic to those choices. Although you could save... How many points could you save here? If you save 2 points here, that's 1, 2. And then you could save 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, so you're only 1 point away from coming over here, and then you're 3 points away from filling in. It's kind of tight for points, but it's doable. It's possible. This just seems kind of weird that you come all the way over here. Why are you coming over here? Regenerating 1% of life. How much life do you have? You got 8,100 life. Okay, never mind. That sounds pretty thick. Ignore all movement penalties from armor and then attack speed. Why do you need attack speed, Querque? What's the deal with the attack speed? Why are you coming all the way? I guess global accuracy. Is this the accuracy for your SRS? That would apply for you, not for minions. So what's the deal here? Alright, let's go take a look at your items. You've got the Soul Edge Convoking Wand, +1 to all minion skill gems. Minions have 34% increased maximum life, 23% increased movement speed. Minions deal 39% increased damage. Okay, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. What else do we got here? +1 to all fire spell skill gems. 11% chance to block spell damage. Increased lightning damage. Do you have lightning damage built into something? Rolled onto something so that way you're... Oh no, it's your brands. Your brand is the thing that's applying it, right? Is it Storm Brand? Yeah, it's Storm Brand. So Storm Brand... So you're laying down Storm Brand in order to apply Elemental Equilibrium. And then that's what's triggering it so that way your SRS actually do more damage. Okay, that makes sense. Your helmet looks pretty sick. Socketed gems are supported by minion life and minion damage. And then minions have increased life and increased damage. That's good. It's also got specters on there too. But you're using Undying Evangelists, which their damage isn't going to matter for that particular lab enchant, but it's nice to have. Your chainmail is a 6-link with 2 whites, 4 blues. It gives you very little armor, very little energy shield, so it's pretty cheap. But it's got good rolls on it. Minions have 24% increased maximum life, 20% increased effective auras on you, and then it's also giving you a percentage increased maximum life and flat life with a whole bunch of added strength. That's a pretty good looking chainmail. It's a lot of life. It's too bad it's not on a like an armor piece. But the fact that it's on an ES armor hybrid is probably why you wanted to roll it that way, so that way you get a bunch of blues. Is that what you're thinking of? You just needed the dex, Querque? Is that why you went all the way over here? You just needed the dex. You just needed 20 dex, dude? Like, there's a 30 dex node right here for proficiency. Like, this is a lot of points. I don't know. This is a lot of points. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. And what do we lose if we unallocate all this? We will lose 30 strength, 20 dex, 10 int, and then 5% of our life. So we could pick that up if we could find another 5% life node and grab it. Like that doesn't seem great. Like with 2 points up here, we could come grab a jewel socket. I mean, then we can just use a jewel that's got 7% life. So that's one thing that I would do right away. I would unspec these 7 points. This is what, 5%, 5%, 8%. I don't know. I would get a jewel socket over here. This is only 3 points away for another jewel socket. I feel like you're going to get more life off of that. And then if you just need flat stats for your gem requirements, you're right next to both agility as well as proficiency. So if you need the dex, you got plenty of options. What is up, Timothy? Welcome, welcome. By the way, if anybody would like to, they can send me a PM on Discord with their POBs, and we will take a look at them as we are able. Right now we are looking at Querque's, because his was yesterday, and we didn't quite get a chance to take a look at Querque's yesterday during the stream. So we're taking a look at his SRS minion instability build. It's quite interesting. It's a good looking build. There's a couple of changes that I would make. I love me some SRS though. SRS is actually what brought me into this game originally, over from, well, anything else. Over from the other action RPG that I was playing at the time. This is good. Fearsome Pact is good. This is good as well. Enduring Bond is really good, especially if you're playing SRS. Yeah. I guess for the dex and the cast speed, you need to get precision. What's your required dex on here? You have 99 dex right now. What are your required dex requirements? And what is it that you need dex on? Desecrate's the only thing I'm seeing. I guess items? That requires int, strength, int. This requires 56. Yeah, this is all stuff that doesn't require dex. These are some nice rings, by the way. These vermilion rings, these are nice. Good resistances, decent life. Oh, Stygian Vise. Very nice. I like it. Percentage increased life, flat maximum life, and then 2 resistances. That is a good looking Stygian Vise right there. And then 40 to life with minions have 12% increased life. Oh, that's a good jewel. Dude, Querque, your jewel. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie. That's pretty good. Alright, let's tear apart your flasks. Let's make fun of your flasks here. So first off, you've got Staunching. Okay, good. You've got a Basalt Flask. Good. You've got Quicksilver with Freeze Immunity. Good. You've got a Silver Flask for Onslaught. Just out of curiosity, is there a reason why you're not using the unique Silver Flask? What is it called? I forget. Cinder Swallow, is that what it's called? I always mess it up. Yeah, here's the unique flask, Cinder Swallow. Is there a reason why you don't want to use this? Like, Cinder Swallow is a pretty good flask. Michael says, oh, POB link in Discord, not in YouTube chat? Yeah, that's correct, Michael. I'd rather not fill up the YouTube chat with a whole bunch of POB links and then have people rickrolling me or whatever. I'm not even sure if YouTube lets you guys post links or what sort of links they let you post. I'd much rather you guys just log into Discord and send me a PM that way. Also, then if we don't get to your build, but we do get to it in the future, I've got your Discord handle so I can send you a PM and say, hey, we're pulling apart your build right now. That's what I did with Querque right here. Okay, next two sockets. You've got flat life, flat mana, and minions have increased life. Good. Flat life, flat mana, and minions have increased life. Yeah, this is good. This is a good build, Querque. Like, I think the biggest thing that I would say... Okay, couple things. First off, I'm not a big fan of Bone Barrier for everything that it provides, but for this build, because it gives you more maximum life for your minions, I get why you went with it. I get that. Obviously, Unnatural Strength is a no-brainer. Mistress of Sacrifice is nice because then Spirit Offering can affect you, but right now I think you're using Flesh Offering, right? Yeah, you're using Flesh Offering, which that's going to help with your cast speed, so it's going to feel a lot better to pump out your SRS. So I can get that. Yeah, I like Plaguebringer and I like Corpse Pacts. If there's any way for you to actually start consuming or generating... Well, you are generating some corpses using Desecrate. Yeah, that would help with your attack and cast speed as well, but that would be 4 Ascendancy points. I would go out of Bone Barrier then, but this is a lot of minion life. That's a lot of minion life, and that's a lot of damage that you're getting. Yeah, so don't listen to me on this. I think this is the right way. I think you've got the Ascendancy figured out the right way to go on this. Maybe Essence Glutton? Nah, you don't have enough Energy Shield for that to matter. And again, you're not consuming corpses. So I like it. I like the build. Your total mana is only 1100. I didn't see... Are you reserving much mana? Aspect of the Spider? Anything else? Oh, Skitterbots, right? Skitterbots. And then Clarity. Okay. Yeah, that's a good looking build. I like it. I like it, Querque. I would take away these 7 points and I would just respec them into jewels. That's what I would do. I would respec those 7 points, go grab some extra jewel slots. You're going to be able to grab decks with those jewel slots. Like, let's think about this. If you take away these 7 points, right? You take away these 7 points. I'm just going to show you really quickly here. Here's 1, 2, 3. That's another jewel socket. That's at least 7% life on a regular Viridian jewel, etc. You're using these Ghastly Eye minion jewels, which makes sense to scale your minion damage, but if you want the extra life, you can do it that way, or you can get more of these Ghastly Eye jewels for even more life, right? For your minions, if you want to. It's just an option, right? I said this earlier today. You don't have to follow any of my suggestions, people. Just because I'm making a suggestion doesn't mean it's good for your build. It's just a suggestion of how I would do it. But I would respec these 7 points, and then I would go 1, 2, 3. Here's another jewel socket, 1, 2. So that's 5 points, and that gives you 2 more jewel sockets. And then elemental damage, right? You can grab the elemental damage. That's 3 points. Or here's a 2-pointer up here in the witch tree. Like, so if this is 2 points and this is 2 points, that leaves you with still 3 more points off of those 7 that you've done. You can easily grab another one of these 3-pointers. So that's what I would do, Querque. That's how I would change that up. Okay, we're going to move on to Drago C's POB. He says, I'm curious as what we should do next with the build. Okay, let's take a look. Let's import your paste bin, and let's see what kind of build you got. So he says, I'm curious as to know what to do next with the build. I'm having issues with killing Cirrus. I know that life is an issue that I'm missing out on, but I'm not sure what else to go with. Okay, Drago C. You are an assassin. Alright, you're blowing my mind here with this build, Drago C. You're an assassin that's spread out all over the tree. Your build is about as stretched as it can get. Like, your build is doing yoga right now. With as many different parts of the tree that you need to go to. Is there anything we can do for you just looking at the tree right off the bat? Man, you're traveling all over the place. You're traveling. I'm sorry. You're Hi, Drago C. Man, you're traveling all over the place. All right, let's come look at your ascendancy. So you've got Mistwalker, so that way you can be elusive, which is good. You've got Unstable Fusion for power charges, and then Deadly Infusion for more power charges and more power charge value. You've got Opportunistic for increased movement speed if you've killed recently, and then damage from your critical strikes cannot be reflected, and then 20% more damage while there is more than one rare or unique. Okay, interesting. Let's see what kind of build you are. Let's take a look here. This is a lot of skills. Why are there so many skills? Are you a COC build? You're a COC build. There's only one reason why there's this many skills, right? Let's look at your items. Yeah, you're a COC build. Okay. Silly me thinking that maybe there's a self-cast player out there. No, no, no. You see a tree that wide and you see him playing it with this many different gems. They're COC build. That's the way it goes. Alright, so you are using Cyclone in order to proc. Alright, with Vol Ice Nova. Conk Effect, Cast on Critical Strike, yep. Hypothermia, Inspiration. Okay. This looks like a good setup. Maybe one or two things that I would change here. Hypothermia is one that always gets debated on about whether hypothermia or is it frostbite? Is that what it is? Frostbite? Is that no, frostbite is the curse, right? What's the one I'm thinking of? Hypothermia, Ice Bite. Is that the one that I'm thinking of? Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Between Ice Bite and Hypothermia, that I feel like different builds scale their damage differently, and so sometimes Hypothermia is better, and sometimes Ice Bite is better. But I think those are the two that I'm thinking of that always swap back and forth. All right, so we got Cyclone for our main proccing ability. We've got Withering Step, Immortal Call, cast when damage taken, Wave of Conviction. Good, that's good. One thing that you can improve right here, Drago C, is just levels, right? If you're dying a whole bunch, like levels, these can be leveled up to level 21. These are probably set because of your cast when damage taken. I would bring these down. Like Wave of Conviction doesn't need to be higher level. Like you can bring these way down, so that way your cast when damage taken is looping and going off a lot faster. That's something I would do. Okay, Vortex, you've got linked with what? Vortex, Bone Chill, Unbound Ailments, Arcane Surge. Your Frostbolt, this is in one weapon. Where's your Vortex? That's in your gloves, okay. Your first weapon is Frostbolt, Hypothermia, Ice Nova. Your second weapon is Frostbite, Frost Bomb, increased area of effect. These, again, gem levels matter. Gem levels matter a lot. I'll say that loudly and proudly. Gem levels matter a lot. So if you can get those gem levels up, or if you've got the currency to just straight up go and buy better gems, gem levels, you know, they really do matter. So that's something right off the bat. You're at 19 basically across the way, except for your 1/20/20 increased area of effect. Herald of Ice, Hatred, Precision. Your Herald of Ice is leveled up. I'm not sure what the percentage is on this, whether or not you want to keep leveling these up. But if you've got an Enlighten, again, if you can purchase a higher level Enlighten, that'll help you out with the mana cost. Okay, so you're getting Herald of Ash off your ring, so we don't care. Assassin Mark off your ring. Okay, Precision, Herald of Ice, Hatred. Yeah, did you just set this up with like a double of the same call, like same setup? Is that what this is? Seems like everything is in here twice. Frostbite is also in your weapon. Okay, so doesn't Frostbite being in your weapon for Cosprees alternate between Frostbite and Frostbomb now between your interactions? I think that's the way that works. So you're getting one every other, which is fine. You don't need to have that consistently going off all the time. So that's perfectly fine. That's a good setup. Okay, let's go back to your question and see what your question was again for improvement. I'm curious as to what to do next with the build. I'm having issues with killing Cirrus. Okay, well right now you're level 89. And I'm looking directly into the camera, Drago C, as I talk to you. Okay? We're having a conversation. There's not hundreds of people watching us right now, it's just you and me. Drago C, if you are going to attempt bossing on a character that doesn't have a high enough effective health pool to take a hit if you make a mistake, then you will not be able to effectively boss. Until you are able to effectively not make a mistake. Okay? So, I'm going to pull up the wonderful educational tool that is Paint. And I'm going to draw you something just real quick here. Okay? So, we have this line. Alright? This is a line, and this is a threshold that you are going to cross. Either don't make mistakes as you boss, right? That's this side of the line. Okay? If you're on this side of the line and you don't make mistakes, you don't need that much HP. Okay? This line, by the way, represents HP. We're going to make this red as a graph. That's your HP. Your HP needs to be higher, right, the more mistakes you make. Okay? That's your HP right there. That line, that black line that runs through the center. If you're on this side of the line where you make mistakes, okay, as you're bossing, we'll call this bossing a diagram. Alright? If you don't make mistakes, your HP doesn't matter. Right? You don't need any HP. You need like 1. Right? If you never make a mistake and you never take damage. Right? This is the whole meme, like point to forehead, don't take damage. Right? If you never take damage, it does not matter what sort of mistakes you make because you're not taking damage. Right? So it doesn't. You're not making mistakes. You don't take damage. You don't die. Right? So you need to choose either, are you going to be in this camp where you're going to be the guy that says, hey, I never make mistakes. Right? If you're going to be the I never make mistakes guy, then this HP pool over here, hopefully you guys can see this. This HP pool of 4,034 is going to be a fine HP pool. Because you never make a mistake, Cirrus is never going to hit you, his beam is never going to hit you, his slam is never going to hit you because you're navigating through his maze perfectly, his die beam is never going to hit you because you're navigating and you're always flame dashing or shield charging or using, what's your mobility skill? Cyclone. You're always just cycloning, perpendicular to him. Do you not have another one? You don't have another movement skill? You don't have a jump skill? Flame dash, I guess? Anyway, whatever your movement skill is, you're going to be moving perpendicular to his die beam, which means you're never going to die, right? Because he's never going to hit you. So 4,034 life is fine to kill Cirrus if you never make a mistake. However, I'm going to introduce you to a whole bunch of people, okay? Hi, my name is G3 Iron, and I'm one of these people. I'm one of these people that's over here, okay? I make mistakes. I make lots of mistakes. And so I want my HP pool to, like, continue going forever. Because I'm going to make tons of mistakes. And I don't want to take the time to learn the mechanics of the fight such that I don't make those mistakes. I will try to learn the fight as best as I can. I'm not saying I want to be lazy in my approach to gaming. I want to learn the fight as best as I can. But, even for the best players, there are still going to be mistakes that are made, and you need an HP pool that is going to allow you to survive those mistakes if you want to continue to engage with that content. Otherwise, you're going to lose a portal, or if you're in hardcore, you're going to lose a character. So, you have to choose which one of these sides you want to be on. If you're on the don't make mistakes side, your build is fine. Your build is fine the way how it is. If you want to kill Cirrus on this build, though, and you're going to make mistakes, then you've got to do something to increase your HP. So, a couple of things that you can do here. One, if you want to increase your HP, you are using a Carcass Jack right now for your 6th link. This is something that can be improved upon. Your resistances right now are 75, 75, 75. We could take Carcass Jack off. Did we lose our perfect resistances? No, we're still capped, okay? So you can lose Carcass Jack, and even though right now that's giving you an increase to your area damage, an increased area of effect, you can go get a chess piece that's going to give you a whole bunch of flat life. Let's say 100%, or not 100%, 100 flat life, and let's say 10% increased life, right? So let's create this item. Oh goodness, what are we doing here? Let's create a rare body armor. Glorious plate, sure. And we're just going to say life. And then, can we do a suffix? Is it percent life? Or can I not? Did I look this up already? Can we not do percent life off of this? I don't think we can. I don't think we can do the hybrid. Maybe I'm just missing it. Is it another prefix? No, that's flat to armor and maximum life. Alright. Whatever. What we will do is we will add in a unique jewel. That'll give us percentage life. That's how we'll work around this. Alright, so let's do this. So we create this, and we're going to give it 100 life, right? 100 life. We're going to add to build. This is called the new item, the Glorious Plate. When we put this here, we're going to go up to what? 41.99. Okay, now we're going to add in, let's say, another socket, right? We're going to add in, where is it on your tree? Is there a socket over here? There's one over here. We're just going to cheat. We're going to say you have this socket. Alright, we're going to craft a jewel. Where's life? Do we have life on here? 7% life. Alright, so we're going to add this to build. New jewel. Alright, now we're up to 4,300. We just added 300 flat life by changing one item. Doesn't even exist. And say it's got 7% on it, right? You don't even actually have to do the jewel. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to do here. This jewel is just here for the purposes of the POB illustration. This percent increased life is actually going to go on this body armor, okay? So if you're wondering, well, iron, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if there's such an item that exists. Well, really quickly, while we have 1 minute, can we find a 6-link chess piece? We have 1 minute before trade goes down. And let's look for maximum life. And then we're going to look for, what is it, percentage life? Alright, let's go. On a 6-link. There are lots of them. Look at this. Look at this. 90 chaos for corrupted. Granted, it's not going to be the right necessarily colors for you, but maybe you'll get lucky and you'll find one that is. 130, 1x, 1x. Okay, so let's look here. What do we need for our colors? Let's just get real horribly specific. On our cyclone, we are 2, 3, and 1. Okay, so 2 blue, 3 green, and 1 red. Let's search. How many are there? 6 results. Look at this. Look at this. 130 chaos right here. This is actually giving you resistances as well. This is giving you 289 chaos. This is giving you 1 resistance as well. And then from there we go up and we get ridiculously expensive. Okay. My point being, there's already ready-made 6 links for you that exist in the world. So that way, if you want to increase your HP, you can. You can increase your HP pool just with your itemization. Okay, let's go back to our items now. We'll go back to the carcass jack. We'll get rid of this tree socket because we cheated. Okay, other things that you can do. A couple of options. There are some life nodes that are going to be over here in this evasion tree. If you pick this up, if you come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points in, this is a considerable amount of HP as you're coming through here. Let's get rid of one of these. That alone changes our HP from 4,000 to 4,400. Now again, I'm not saying you're going to be the tankiest character ever. You're playing an assassin, for Pete's sake. You're never going to make this guy the most, tanky character ever. However, there are some things that you can do. Another option, if you don't want to go those 7 points, let's get rid of these 7 points. It is really, really far for the assassin to come down here to the Silent Life wheel. However, because you are so stretched out on your tree, like look at how stretched out you are on your tree. You are literally going to opposite ends of the tree. You're picking up Herbalism and Heartseeker, right? But you're also coming up and you're grabbing Arcane Potency and Light of Divinity, and eventually you're moving your way over here to Devotion, right? I'm not saying these are bad choices. I'm just saying as long as you're choosing to do this and you're sending like what, 30 points, 40, almost 40 points of your tree are spread out just traveling to grab nodes, something that you may want to consider is the value of those nodes and the amount of time that you are taking to get over there. These are all of the nodes that include the word critical in them. I'm not saying these are good nodes. I'm not saying these are best nodes. Like right here is Will of Blades. That's increased critical strike chance. You might not want to travel to it. It might not necessarily be something that's great. It might be something that's terrible for your build. It's nonetheless something that's there. If you need some crit chance, here's Depth Perception. What is this? Is this Crit Strike multi? No, that's against shocked enemies, so we wouldn't even qualify for that, right? So some of these are going to be there and be effective. Some of them won't be. Is this Elemental? No, lethalities with bows. I thought there was an elemental one down here. No, dual wielding, opalescence. Is it just straight up elemental damage that used to be over here? Okay, yeah, elemental damage, right? Elemental damage with attack skills. So that's not necessarily going to be helpful, right? So again, Not necessarily so many options over here on the right-hand side. So I get why you're moving all the way over to the top left-hand side. But if you're coming all the way up here for all your damage, and you're coming over here for your defensive layers with your acrobatics and your phase acro, like, you got to realize that that's a part of your build. It's a part of your build. Okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean that Cirrus is unachievable for your build. You just need to not make as many mistakes, right? As lame as that might sound. And it is lame, right? It is lame. At a certain point in time, you've got to choose on a build, is this a bossing character or is this a mapping character? Is this a speed character? And this is very, very important to understand, okay? A lot of players out there don't understand this concept. Builds need to be tailored and focused on the type of content that they're going to be used to actually farm, okay? That's what you've got to do. So if you're building this assassin to go take down Cirrus, he's going to look different and be a different tree than if you're building this to, let's say, repeat and run as many high-tier maps as you can possible. You've got a great high-tier mapping build, I think, from the looks of it. That's what I would recommend for you to build and for you to play with. Taking down Cirrus on this build is going to be something different. I might actually retool the entirety of the build and go with something like Blade Vortex and just try to instantly phase him and scale your damage up as much as possible, because at 4,000 HP, as soon as he hits you, you're going to be dead and there goes a portal. So I'm not sure if that's good news or bad news for you, Drago C, but that's the news. Okay, we're going to move on to our next POB paste bin. This is from Tim F. So shout out to Tim F. If you are in chat, we are about to be tearing apart your build, my man. Alright, let's take a look. Tim F's build. Herald of Purity Guardian. Alright. Herald of Purity. I'm just making sure I'm reading this right. We're level 95. We are a Guardian. What are our skills? We're using whirling blades. Whirly-durly? We're using whirly-durly blades. Whirly-burly. Alright, we're using whirly-durly blades. And 4 to 5 for our mobility skill. Drago C says, thanks, Iron. Good advice, and I'll be looking into that stuff for sure. Alright, there you go, Drago C. Hopefully that was helpful. If you're farming tier 16s, no problem, then just use that build to farm tier 16s. Make another build that's your boss killer. That's what I would do. Okay, Whirly-Durly to proc Fortify. And then we've got Summon Stone Golem in our body armor, along with Minion Damage, Ancestral Call, Meat Shield, Melee Physical, and Carrion Golem. Is this a Golem-ancer? Tim, am I seeing this wrong? I'm confused. That's fine, though. It's okay if I'm confused. You've got Blade Vortex with Controlled Destruction, Brutality, and Unleash. Okay. You've got Herald of Purity in your helmet. Minion Speed, Awaken Brutality, Feeding Frenzy. Okay. Okay, you've got Vulnerability, Pride, and then Awakened Blasphemy. Okay. And then you've got Immortal Call along with Cast when Damage Taken, Flame Dash, Flesh and Stone. What is going on here, Tim? The Ancestral Call is for their Dominating Blow swap? Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Interesting. So where's their slam? Alright, so your slam on your Summon Stone Golem right now is doing 1,000,000 DPS? No, 100,000 DPS. Okay. 100,000 DPS per slam. What's their roll doing? 54,000. I should just build a build with Stone Golems. What about your Carrion Golem? Combo attack is 2,300. Their cascade is 11,000. Leap slam is 31,000. Okay. Your Herald of Purity minions. Their default attack is 1.9 mil. No, am I reading that wrong again? No, it's 198,000. Okay, not 1.9 mil. Their slam, all right. Their Crusade slam is 0.5 mil. Okay. This is an interesting build. I'm not sure what else I can say about it, Tim. Dominating blow for clear, and then you don't need it for bosses. Okay. It's interesting. This is an interesting tree. What sort of items are you using here? You're using Cold Iron Point. Okay, just because you want the Fizz spell on Blade Vortex. I almost feel like this is a Blade Vortex build, and then you just happen to throw in all this other stuff. Herald of Purity is also a physical skill gem. Okay, so I get it. Cold Iron Point makes a little bit more sense now. You're using in Presence with vulnerability as 100% reduced mana reservation. That's nice. Your helmet is +2 to Sakti level of minion gems. Your body armor is increased life and maximum life. Okay, that's good. I don't need to yell at you to go out and get a new body armor, so that's good. Titan Gauntlets, good life. Minions deal increased damage. Increased cast speed, that's good. Along with flat decks, you probably need that for gem requirements. Your boots, that's a lot of life on boots, my man. Wow. A lot of boots. No move speed. Well, crafted move speed. I can see why you chose those boots. I would choose those boots as well. Those are some nice boots. Tim says, I take out Stone Golem for clearing and add in Dominating Blow, and then I use 2 Carrion Golems. Okay. Interesting. It's a level 29 plus Herald of Herald of Purity. Okay. All right. I guess, Tim, at this point, what's the question? Like, what can we help you out with on your build, man? This seems like a very, very interesting, unique build. Like, this is legit. This is. I'm actually going to see. Okay, is there anybody else that's using on the face of the planet a build that uses Herald of Purity on a 5-link? Herald of Purity. So a whole bunch of people use Herald of Purity. Let's take a look at the Guardians who are using Herald of Purity. 44% of them are using Cold Iron Points. Okay, so maybe you're onto something here, man. A lot of them are using Herald of Agony, though, as their crawler. Yeah. That's interesting. This is a really interesting build. A lot of them are also CI, though. Did you go CI? You didn't go CI. You've got a whole bunch of life. Okay. So, a couple of things here on the tree. A couple of things. I like that you came up and you grabbed, what is it, Barbarism, +1 for fire resistance. I like that you came over and grabbed Soul of Steel. Are you just relying on your Guardian Ascendancy to not be stunned? Is that what you're relying on? What's your block chance? Your block chance is only 17%. I don't know. You got to tell me, Tim, if that stays up on a consistent enough basis for you to not get stunned. That's interesting. Yeah. That's interesting. The only reason why I say it is because you're right next to Unwavering Stance. Like, you're right next to it. You're not scaling evasion. Go get Unwavering Stance and just never get stunned. Other things to consider. This is an interesting choice. Did you just grab Bravery for your Anointment just for the life? Because if that's the case, I mean, you're a level 95 right now. This is a good amount of armor over here, but do you have flat armor that you're scaling up? Where's your armor? Yeah, you got 11,000 armor. Are these all Abyssal Jewels? You have Abyssal Jewels in all of these, don't you? You're a minion build, of course you do. A Ghastly Eye, Ghastly Eye. Ghastly Eye. These... Okay. time out. Time out for a minute. Time out for a minute. I'm just going to take a timeout. Everybody time out. Let's all gather around the fireside. Gather around the fireside. Okay. Anybody that says necromancers are OP and necromancers are stupid and necromancers should be nerfed and zombies should be nerfed and minions are dumb and minions are bad for the meta. Okay. I present to you Timothy Feldhaus's build as a case study that says minions can be played in nearly any way you want to play them, and players will figure out a way to make them work, okay? Because minions are the Swiss Army knife of Path of Exile. You don't need to be shoehorned or feel like you must play zombies, skeletons, etc. in order to play a minion build and be successful, because this guy, Timothy F., is sitting here at level 95 with a whole bunch of content done in the game, and this dude's using cold iron points, and he's got 7 sockets that he is filling with abyssal eyes, just so that way his minions can do the damage. This is an awesome build, I gotta say, Timothy. This is pretty cool. This is very different. It's very outside of the box, at least from my experience. This is pretty cool. Okay, you're going to branch across here anyway. I was going to say get rid of this. This is good because of the life effects that you get and the reduced mana cost of skills. I bet how much mana are you reserved? Herald of Purity and then plus vulnerability and plus pride. You're probably like pretty much capped, right? If so, you may want to come over here and grab sovereignty, right? Because you're using a bunch of these non-curse auras like Pride and like Herald of Purity. Wouldn't be bad. It'd be an option. You'd get 70 unreserved mana. You'd go up by about 4% DPS. But I'm not sure how to calculate that DPS with your build. I don't know if that's worth it. You've got a lot of 5% life nodes that you could grab as well. Do you need to come through here for the strength? I mean, that's 14% life. Or no, 14 to life. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. The reason why I say this is if you could come up here, if you're already going to come up through this tree, you could just cut this off, right? And then you could make a connecting point here with minion attack and cast speed because you really love minion and attack and cast speed. So you could cut this off here, come up through this side, and then save a few points here or there. Maybe that'd be 1 or 2 points. Maybe. You're not MOM, so this is kind of a bummer. It is 8% increased life, so it's better than just grabbing the flat life. This looks like a fantastic build. This looks like a hilarious build. Do you need diamond skin for your all resistances? I don't think so. Well, maybe, because you don't have rings. So you're just using your belt, your boots, your gloves, body armor, helm. Yeah. So maybe you do need that coming through here and actually grabbing these. Otherwise, it's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Otherwise, it's 1, 2 points. So that's 2 points that you could grab, depending on the upgrades that you could get. Timothy says, this build does great boss damage. Cirrus 8, easy. That's pretty good. You are not too capped. Okay, so that's why. That's why you need that. All right. Well, Timothy, that was a cool build. All right, nobody important. Are you here? We are about to feature your build. All right. So nobody important. If you are here, shout out to you, my man. And shout out to Timothy F. Tim F, that was a fantastic build that we got to look at, my man. That was pretty fun. It's not every day that you get to take a look at a Herald of Purity Guardian that can take down Cirrus 8. Okay. What is this? This is another assassin boy. Alright. Not nearly as spread out. Not nearly as spread out. But we got some Chaos Dot on here. Interesting. That makes it quite a different build from our previous COC assassin. So this will be interesting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your skills first. You've got Flesh and Stone, Precision, Herald of Agony, and Malevolence. Are you a Herald of Agony assassin build? What? What? James Moray says, hey Iron, just curious if we're still on yesterday's POB request. Thanks for taking the time to do this. The answer is no. No, we are not on yesterday's requests. We are on today's requests. So go ahead and send your request in on Discord. Send me a PM with your path of building, and if we've got time, we will get to it. Alright, so Dread Banner, Whirling Blades, Fortify, Faster Attacks. Plague Bearer and Despair. Okay. Portal, Blade Vortex, Vol Blade Vortex. Here we go. This is socketed in the chest piece. Unleash, Unbound Ailments, Void Manipulation, Deadly Ailments, Val Toxins. So this is a poison-based build. Right? Am I guessing at this right? Yeah, this is a poison BV build. Alright, what are your stats looking like? You're at 5.3k life, so a little bit better than our buddy earlier, than our previous assassin buddy. It's such a bummer that chaos damage over time multiplier is just spread out. So I'm going to show you this on the tree. Right now, presently, the way how the tree is constituted, just take a look. Look at where the chaos damage is. Like, there's a bit of chaos damage on the bottom right, a bit on the top right, and then you got to go all the way to the top left and to the very top. It's just a, yeah. It's just a bummer. It's just a bummer. Because it means that if you want to play a chaos damage over time build, you've got to choose to either spend a bunch of points to travel, or yeah. Or you just don't get it, right? Which is what we've got right here with Sheeple's build. Sheeple's build just doesn't go up and travel to get it. Because way up here is a whole bunch of chaos dot. But how many points away is that? Like 1,000,000? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's only 11 points. 12 points is what is the way how POB does it naturally, but it's 11. It's 11 to get up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh no, never mind. Never mind. The computer program is once again smarter than me. It's 12 points if you go their way. It's 14 points if you go my way. But my way gets you a jewel passives. Nah, take that, computer. What else? It's a lot of points away, and you're already level 92. You're pretty much set in your ways at this point. Unless you want to respec a whole bunch of stuff down here at the bottom of the tree. So the bottom of the tree, you're coming down, you're grabbing Toxic Strikes. If we undo this, how much damage do we lose? Blade Vortex. Vol Blade Vortex. If we undo this, we lose 21% of our total DPS. 27% if we unselect that. If we come up here, this is only 14% DPS, so there you go. Wow. That's actually a significant difference. I didn't realize that. Just how good this is on the bottom half side of the tree. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Corrupted Blood Jewel. Nice. +1 cold resistance. Nice. What are our resistances? 75, 76, 75. Chaos resistance is -2. Do you take care of that with a flask? Let's take a look at your items here, Sheeple. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So you are using Beano's kitchen knife. Okay. That's good. On killing a poisoned enemy, nearby enemies are poisoned, and nearby allies regenerate 200 life per second. Yep. That is the ye old faithful for poison builds. Where's Mr. C? I feel like Mr. C should be in here with his fascination with poison builds. Cold Iron Point. Okay, that makes sense, because that's giving us a whole bunch of extra levels to our physical spell stuff. Devouring Diadem. Okay, we've got 40% increased Blade Vortex spell damage on it. Nice, so nice lab enchant. +1 to level of socketed gems. And then we got Feast of Flesh. And then we've also got Eldritch Battery. Okay. Nice. It's a good helm. In your body armor, you've got 12% maximum life. But then you've got crafted flat life 83. I mean, that's not bad. If you could get it up over 100, but that percentage life in the crafted life is already fine. It'd just be 20 flat life. It's not that big of a difference. Your evasion rating is over 1200, so that's a good amount of evasion that you're getting. Your total evasion rating is what? 7,000? That's a decent amount. Your evade chance is 44%. It's decent. You're also got 15% to gain a power charge on critical strike. Nice. And you're critting so often, right? What's your crit chance? 35%? It's not a terrible amount, but when you're bossing, you didn't even take any of those. Wait, what? What did you do here? Okay, you've got Mistwalker, you've got Ambush and Assassinate. Okay. You've got Noxus Strike. Okay. And you've got Toxic Delivery. This is a lot of damage, but you're not going to scale up any of your power charges with crit multi, right? Which is fine. You're not going out of your way to get a whole bunch of extra charges. What are you at? Are you at 3? Yeah, you're only at 3 power charges. You don't even get an extra power charge. Okay. So that's interesting. Maybe you just purchased that chess piece because it was cheap and it happened to have the chance to gain power charge on crit. Maybe. Maybe that's why. Your gloves, you've got triple resistances, nice, and then crafted life. Those are pretty nice. If you could upgrade these gloves, you would probably want to go for the spell damage gloves, right? Go for sorcerer gloves as a base, and then do the same thing, get triple resistances. So that's one thing that you can do right away, is go for that. Nobody Important says, Sand stands for blind, 100% on full life and low life, power charges and base crit from poison statics. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Ambush and Assassinate does very little for a build like this, I think, says Zed. Yeah. I mean, you get the damage on either end of the spectrum. Yeah. I guess you get the crit, like you get like the halfway culling strike because your critical strikes are going to cull. So it's not quite as good as Slayer, but it doesn't require you to use Culling Strike as a gem. So it's kind of like a halfway in between sort of thing. Okay, so I would improve those gloves. I would go for spell damage gloves. That's what I would go for on those. On boots, do you have Tailwind? That is our question, our number one question this league. If you are using rare boots, are you using Tailwind? It's time for another one of G3 Iron's patented charts. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's go take a look. Here's our question for the league. And you know what? The background of this chart? We're just gonna go with a nice little soft little brown here, nice little soft brown. In fact, you know, we're gonna edit the colors. We're actually gonna make this a little softer. Okay, there we go. We're just gonna go with a nice soft little brown in the background. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a line and we're gonna draw this line so it's very, very particular. Okay, here's the line. This is the line. Our question for the line is, are you using rare boots? That's the question. It's just a simple question. It's a quiet question. It's a happy question. It's going to go right up here in the top left corner. In the rest of our diagram, what we're going to do is we're going to see this happy diamond. Okay, a happy diamond that says, yes, I am wearing rare boots. Okay, that's our answer to this question. This is the ASMR part of the stream. The answer is yes. If, however, the answer is no, then there's going to be this really, really angry lightning bolt. Where's my lightning bolt? Right? Angry lightning bolt. No, if you're not using rare boots. Okay? Not using rare boots. So if you are doing this, if you're yes, then the next thing that you ought to be doing, and here's our equal sign. Where's our line? Where's my pencil? Then you ought to be getting, where is this? Can I draw? Yeah, we kind of can draw. I kind of can draw and paint. Then you ought to be getting a whole bunch of tornadoes because you're going to be using Tailwind boots. Yay, right? That's what you're going to want to do. If you are using rare boots this league, and I see your build, and you've got yellow boots, If that's the answer, then you better have Tailwind boots. Alright? You will thank me. You don't have Tailwind on the boots! Ah! Ah! Okay. So, you are an assassin. You get the benefit of crit. You're scaling crit in a lot of stuff. So, get Tailwind. Get Tailwind. Can I don't even think I can do it on these boots, right? Can I edit these boots? Can I craft? Can I craft? Ah, crap. How do I do this again? I forget. Add a modifier. Can I add Tailwind? No, I don't think I can. Is Tailwind not on here? Of course Tailwind wouldn't be on here. Why would Tailwind be on here? Can I just check if I have Tailwind? I think I can do that in my configurations, can I? Let's try that. Forget this. Screw this. Cancel. Go over here to my calculations. Can I do Tailwind? Ah! Do you have Tailwind? Here we go. Look at the cast rate. Your cast rate speed goes up from 1.38 to 1.51. And then where's your move speed? Do. Where do I calculate move speed, people? Help me out here. Is it calcs? Cast speed. This is on Flesh and Stone. I don't care about Flesh and Stone. Give me Blade Vortex. There we go. Alright, and then miscellaneous, right? Movement speed is times 1.42. Alright, let's go over here and let's say, do you have Tailwind? Now let's go back over here. Now we're 1.56. That is a considerable amount of increased move speed. A considerable amount. Alright, you're going to move faster. You're going to cast faster. Everything about your character goes faster if you can get Tailwind boots. Get Tailwind boots. Marcelo Santos says, I just got here. What are Tailwind boots? Oh no! PoE Tailwinds. Alright, here we go. So we'll take another time out and we'll walk through this. Alright, so this is Tailwind. This is the buff of Tailwind. Here we go. I'm even going to copy this and put this onto our little thingamabob. Where's my snipping tool? Get to work, snipping tool. Get over here and grab buff for Tailwind. Ta-da! Alright, here's our little diagram. Are you using rare boots? Get Tailwind. So this is what Tailwind does. Tailwind is a buff that grants the character 10% increased action speed for 4 seconds. Okay? So what this does is this means that you have increased move speed, you have increased attack speed, you have increased cast speed. Everything that you do that requires speed gets a boost. So you want it. That's what you want. You want Tailwind. Now, because of the way how the new league works, there are now boots that allow you to get Tailwind on your boots if you have crit recently. So get them if you can. Now, boots that are Tailwind boots are going to be very expensive. I'm not saying they're not expensive. If you want boots that have got double resists, plus move speed, plus Tailwind, they're going to be ridiculously expensive. Okay? It's going to be ridiculously expensive. Don't hear what I'm not saying. It's very expensive. So, not important. If you can't purchase those boots, that's understandable. I myself, on my builds that I've been using Tailwind boots on, I've just been using like very, very basic Tailwind boots. They don't necessarily have move speed included on them because they're cheap, right? But even if you don't get the move speed on your boots, if you just craft on move speed and you got Tailwind, it's better than just having top tier move speed, right? So especially if you're critting. So that's just my personal opinion. Go get some Tailwind boots. You'll thank me later. All right. In Presence is his amulet. He's got Despair, has 100% reduced mana reservation. That's good. You've got the right one. Your ring is Cold Resistance, Life, Mana, Evasion, and then some flat stats. It's a Vermilion ring. That's good. Another Vermilion ring with flat stats. Nope, no flat stats. Just Life, and then Lightning Resistance. Oh, and +1 minimum Frenzy charges. Nice. I like Frenzy charges. I'm a big fan of Frenzy charges. It's just a flat more multiplier. Who doesn't want that? Belt is a leather belt, which gives us 2 resistances and life and mana. If you can upgrade this, I would upgrade this to a Stygian Vise. That would be what I would upgrade to. If you could get similar stats but on a Stygian Vise, it's going to be more expensive. Certainly. But that would nonetheless be an upgrade. Okay, I feel like we've pulled apart your beautiful, beautiful Volblade Vortex build enough. I think it was great. It was a good build. It probably does a lot of the content that you've already mentioned pretty well. You've done Shaper, you've done Elder, you've done Cirrus at Awaken level 6. So it's a good build. You're going to be able to make it. But it's definitely something to consider. Some improvements as you can afford them. Alright, we're going to take a look at our next build. Our next build which is from Mitchy. So we're going to load up this build and import it, and we're going to take a look. Mitchy says, this is a melee elemental hit Inquisitor, trying to scale attack speed and crit. I didn't find any way of leech other than an Aziri's belt. I have 2 main skills, one for clear with fire resistance debuff and one for bosses. Don't really know which support gems to use. I have problems sustaining life when flasks run out, and I'm playing standard if that matters. Have a nice day. Okay, Mitchy. So let's take a look at your build. James Moray, by the way, if you sent me yours yesterday, just go ahead and send me yours again on Discord and say it's James Moray for America from YouTube. Make sure you include your YouTube names on there, folks. Otherwise, I have no idea who is who. Because a lot of you use different names in Guild and on YouTube and on Patreon than you use in-game or on Discord. So there's a gazillion different ways to keep track of everybody. I'm sorry, can't you guys see? Like, I'm losing hair daily because I'm trying to remember everybody's name and I just can't do it. Okay, so we are scaling Elemental Hit on an Elemental Hit Inquisitor. Alright, we are level 93. And here's our skills. So we're using Elemental Hit with Ancestral Call, Elemental Damage with attacks, Cold to Fire, Multi-Strike, and Combustion. Okay, so right away, right off the bat, all right, right off the bat, Mitchy, the first thing that you can do, all of these are level 20. You can try to corrupt them, right? You can try to corrupt them. So you can use a Vol Orb to try to corrupt them to get to level 21, or you can simply purchase them off of the market as a level 21 gem. That right there will automatically be a DPS increase. Secondly, you're probably not hitting very many things, right, with your Elemental Hit. Like, it's probably not a very big AoE. So that's going to constantly require that your character gets into melee range and potentially dies when you get into melee range, right, as you're hitting. Because this is like a true melee build. You're getting up close and personal. So this is quite interesting. And you're using Multi-Strike. Multi-Strike is great as a damage boost. However, it roots you in place, right? So that can be a bit scary. So that's 2 things right away. 1, you can level up your gems, try to corrupt them to hit level 21. But 2, you're playing a melee build which doesn't have a ton of AoE to clear screens, which means a whole bunch of stuff is going to have a chance to actually fire their spells and their attacks at you. So if that's a part of the reason why you feel squishy, that's a part of the reason why. Is because stuff is still alive to actually get off its attacks against you. You're using Tempest Shield with Cast when damage taken, Curse on hit, and Flammability in your gloves. Okay. You're using Shield Charge, Fast Attacks, and Fortify. Okay, good. Again, same thing is true for all this stuff. It's all level 20. That's great. If you can corrupt it to level 21, that's great. It just adds some damage, adds some quality of life. Your mana reservations are Anger, and then you're also using Haste and Vol Haste, along with Enduring Cry and Blood Rage. Okay, so that's a source of your leech. Your leech right now isn't going to be very much, though. Yeah, your life leech on hit is 1300. Your life regen is actually is basically on par with your life regen. Your leech is 1300. Your life regen per second is 1000. By the way, is PoE back up? There's been a patch. You need to restart. I don't want to restart. Ah, here we go. The Eternal Steam Launcher. Okay, launch the game as soon as it's ready. So this is a consideration here. If you are relying on Leech as a defensive layer, right now I would actually say scale up your life regen if you can, because it's going to be more consistent for you than actually trying to leech off of stuff. So that's another thing. Your golem is an ice golem. Okay, so we're trying to crit and then cast 1 damage taken, steel skin, and then commandment of ire. Okay, what does our tree look like? Our tree looks like... Where'd you go? Where'd you go, Mitchy? Okay, here you are. Alright, you said, don't really know which support gems to use. I have problems sustaining life when flasks run out and I'm playing standard. Okay, so right now let's go to builds. Let's go take a look at elemental hit. Alright, we're going to look for elemental hit. Not many people are playing it, but let's take a look at the people who are. First off, in League, nobody's playing Inquisitor. That's level 97 or above. That doesn't mean you're making a mistake, it just means that's the reality of it. Let's see if in SSF anybody is. %. Is anybody playing Inquisitor? Nope. Oh, nope. Nobody. I think the vast majority of these people, Mitchy, I'm just letting you know, elemental hit for the most part is a range skill. Most people use elemental hit as a bow skill. That's the way how most people use it. So I'm just letting you know right now. It doesn't mean that you can't use it as a melee skill. It just means most of the time that's the way how players are using it, because they want to kill stuff off screen. They don't want to give stuff a chance to come on and kill them. That's why most players use elemental hit in its ranged form. However, you are choosing to use it melee. That's fine. I can appreciate that. One thing that you can do is increase your DPS through an increase in your weapon. This particular sword, its DPS is only 107 DPS. So the DPS on this sword, ways to calculate it are based on the flat physical damage that it's got, and then elemental damage that it's got, and then you multiply it by the attacks per second. So right now, not a great amount. Not a great amount of total DPS. It's 379. I think you could probably, especially in standard, purchase a better sword than this. I'm not sure if we've got... Do we have standard trade that's back up? Is the trade website back up? Let's look for a jeweled foil. And let's see here. Let's put 100 chaos as the cap on our price. DPS at max quality. Okay, you can get in standard right now. I'm just showing you this just so that way you know, Mitchy. Not sure if you're in chat, if you're in YouTube chat or not. This is literally, this search is for just jeweled foil. That's all I typed in. And then I put chaos equivalent 100 as the max. Click search and then sorted by DPS at max quality. So there's going to be some of these that are above 400, some of these that are above 200 for flat physical. So that's some options. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. One, you could just get a quick upgrade that way. Another, you can listen to what Zed is saying in chat and just grab a Paradoxica, right? It's going to be massive, massive boosts for your damage, and you will see your damage go through the roof. So right now, let's take a look. Your fire damage is what? Your fire DPS is 2 mil. Is that what I'm seeing right here? 2 mil on fire. Your cold damage is none because you've probably got it locked out. Yep. So you've got that locked out. So you got that set up right. Let's take a look if we go for a Paradoxica. Oh, do we not have it in here? Are you kidding me? Sort by name. Do we not have Paradoxica? Are you kidding me? Inside the new fork for POB? What am I doing wrong here, people? I'm doing something wrong. Mr. C says, I'm here. Did I miss you doing mine? No, I have not done yours yet, Mr. C. We will get there as we can. Where the heck is a sword I just want any sword. Any sword. One-handed sword. Is Paradoxica not on here? I can't believe this. Why is there not a Paradoxica on here? You need to craft a Paradoxica? Okay, that's stupid. Do we have PoE, POB, Paradoxica? Has somebody done this? Okay, people are apparently crafting it with attacks with this weapon have a 100% chance to deal double damage. Okay, so if we craft an item, are we serious? Is that what we're doing here? There's got to be somebody else that's done this. Nobody's got this on here? This is going to make me baby rage. I'm going to tilt. I'm going to tilt. I'm going to tilt and scream. Ah! That's so stupid. Okay. Fine. I'm not even going to worry about it. Not even going to worry about it. What we're going to do is we're going to put in this. We're going to go to the trade website. We're going to search for Paradoxica, and then we're just going to copy the item. That's what we're going to do. Okay? That's how we will solve this problem. Silly, crazy, stupid thing. Alright, why is this not copying? Copy item. Alright, here we go. Add to build. We now have a Paradoxica. Alright. When we put this here, what does that do to our build? Okay, our build goes from Havoc Spike, total DPS, 2.3 mil, with average damage being 2.7. No, I'm sorry, less than a mil. It's 200,000 damage on the average damage, up to 4,500 damage. 4,500,000 damage? 458,000 damage. There we go. I can speak. All right, so it pretty much doubles your average hit damage when you use a Paradoxica. This right here on standard, this Paradoxica that I clicked on, all it was 1x. So again, depending on what your budget is, it's pretty good upgrade, right? So that's another thing you can do. So we've got a growing list here of what you can do. You can increase your damage through your gems. You can increase your DPS through your items. Your tree is the next thing that we're going to really quickly look at here, and then we're going to move on to the next build. I like that you've come up and grabbed the Scion Life Tree. I like that you came up and you grabbed Holy Fire for fire damage. That makes sense. I like that you're using your 2 combat focuses. That makes sense. I don't like this. Okay, a couple of things that you can do. So right now your fire resistance is 76, 75, 75. That's because you're coming up and grabbing Barbarism. You can come and grab Soul of Steel, which is right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and that's going to give you +1 maximum all resistance across the board. It's also going to give you a whole bunch of additional armor, which right now your armor is only 2,100. Oh, that's not very much armor, my man. Anyway, so it's going to help reduce damage all the way across the board for anything elemental that comes across and hits you. Also, it's just going to straight up reduce 5% flat of the physical damage that you take. So it's not going to be an armor scaler that's that great for you because you don't have that much flat armor, but that is going to significantly reduce the damage that you take. Also, I would get rid of blood magic right here. I would just get rid of these 4 points. Get off of blood magic because the percentage HP that they're giving you, these 10% HP life nodes, you can pick those up and grab those elsewhere on the tree. So I'm going to show you a couple of life nodes that you can grab. So there are... Where is it? Up in here? Yep, up in here. All right, so you can come grab some life regeneration nodes and then grab 5% here with combat stamina. You can come all the way around to tireless, and which will reduce the cost of mana on your skills, but it'll also grant you some extra life. You've already got the Silent Life Wheel. We already said that's great. That's great. Don't have to worry about that too much. With the other points, you could also come over, grab 5% here, grab 10% off Golem's Blood, grab another 5% here. Part of the reason why blood magic isn't so great is because right now you're using your life in order to cast your skills. So your skills are costing you life to actually like attack, and you're scaling your attack speed. Your attack speed is pretty high. It's 5.49. So even if it's only, you know, let's say 15 to 25 mana per attack, that's 5 attacks. So 15 times 5, what is that? I can't do math. Like 60? Is that 75? 75 life per second that you're just automatically right away losing from yourself as you get hit, that you're taking off of your regen or off of your leech. Another thing that you can do if you want to boost your leech, by the way, is you can come over here, grab Gladiator's Perseverance. This increases your attack damage while leeching, and it also gives you a bit more of your physical attack damage that's leech to you. And then I believe there's a fire node as well for leech, right? Isn't there a fire node? It's up here. No, that's minions. Is it over here? Or am I thinking off of the chieftain? I think I'm thinking off of chieftain. Yes, right here. Hinakora, 1% of fire damage leeches life. So that doesn't apply to you. Pay no attention to that, because you're an Inquisitor. Also, speaking of Inquisitor, let's pick apart your Ascendancy choice. So right now you're going for Righteous Providence, which is fine. But oftentimes you want to take Righteous Providence because then you can come down here and get Inevitable Judgment. So this right here means that critical strikes ignore enemy monster elemental resistances. Like, that's fantastic. That's a massive damage boost. And then non-critical strikes penetrate 10% of enemy elemental resistances. Like, that's huge. That's massive. So if you're bossing, like, Inevitable Judgment is a massive, massive increase to elemental damage, because bosses have a bunch of elemental resist, and so you can just, your crits can just ignore that. So right now your effective crit chance is 71%. 71% of the time you'll just be ignoring stuff's elemental resistances, so that's something to consider. Instruments of Virtue is nice for attack and cast speed. I personally would get rid of it and would come over here. That's what I would do. What are you at right now? 4,500? Yeah, I know it looks worse. I know it looks worse over here, but I feel like this would feel better when you're bossing. Maybe when you're not bossing, this would feel better. But boy, I think this would feel better when you're bossing. Okay, up here we've got Pious Path and Sanctuary. So one thing to consider, I know you're on Standard, and again, I don't know how much it's going to cost you, but you might want to go for a... oh, what's it called? What's the flask called? Go for any... What's it called? It's a sulfur flask. Dang it. Not one-handed sword. Any type. Bottled Faith. There you go. You might want to look for a Bottled Faith, because Bottled Faith, like, consecrated ground created by this flask has tripled radius, so it increases, like, your radius of your actual consecrated ground that you're standing on. And then, where is it? Consecrated ground you create applies 10% increased damage taken, which is really, really good. So the consecrated ground that you create through Bottled Faith, or when you become stationary, gets really, really large, and then everything that's around you takes a whole bunch of increased damage, right? Whenever anything in PoE says enemies take increased damage, that acts as a more multiplier, not an increase in your damage. So more multipliers in PoE get calculated in at a better rate in the calculation chain, in the equation of doing damage, than increases in damage. So whenever you've got a line that says enemies take increased damage, that's good. So when you use Bottled Faith, it creates this massive, massive area of consecrated effect, or consecrated ground, which means you're getting bigger areas of this sanctuary being applied. Then, of course, Pious Path is going to say you've got increased attack and cast speed while you're on consecrated ground, which is great. And then also you're going to regenerate some extra energy shield while you're on consecrated ground. You're going to be immune to elemental ailments. And then, of course, effects of consecrated ground linger for 4 seconds. So I believe that actually double dips with the Bottled Faith, which means you're getting its effect as well, that lingers for 4 seconds. I could be wrong on that, though. I think it's just the effects of consecrated ground, which in that case, consecrated ground, an effect that's by it, could be damage taken? Actually, that's a good question. Does Sanctuary apply to the effects of Pious Path? I think it does. Somebody running quick, check that. I'm actually not sure on that one, so I'm not going to tell you, yes, go do this, because this will happen. I'm actually not sure if that's an effect, because I think the effects of Consecrated Ground is a different wording than saying effects that happen while you're on Consecrated Ground. The effect of Consecrated Ground is just the buff from Consecrated Ground. I think that's the way how that's worded. Okay. Well, that's enough for Mitchy's build. Thanks so much for sending in your build, Mitchy. All right, who is next? We're going to go to Michael Stroffolino's build, Shadow Mo Kitty. So, Michael, if you're there, we are about to feature your build. Let's go take a look at your build, buddy. So, let's import from the paste bin, and let's take a look. Oh, boy, it's another one of these. Another one of these shadow builds that just goes all over the tree for everything. All right, that's totally fair, right? It's not bad. It's totally fair. Totally fine if you want to travel all over the tree for everything. It just means you got to spend more passive points. All right, so let's take a look. What do we got here? Oh, look at this. We don't have a million different skills to use. Okay. This will be interesting. All right, so we got Vol Burning Arrow. Burning Arrow with awakened burning damage, awakened elemental damage with attacks, greater multiple projectiles, combustion, and then awakened deadly ailments. Okay, so you're an Ignite build, right? Right? Am I getting this right? Red says, hey G3, I want to thank you for all the guides and content. Your vids help me a lot in-game as an intermediate scrub. Hey Red, I'm intermediate scrub myself, so we're just a bunch of intermediate scrubs helping each other out here. Giving one another terrible advice that I'm sure will be proven wrong in the future. Okay, so Vol Burning Arrow for an Ignite build. I bet this is a really, really fun bossing build, but I bet as soon as you get breathed on, you die. Am I right, Michael? Is that correct? Am I correct in assuming that? Flame Dash and Pierce. Why do you have Pierce? Are you just leveling Pierce just for fun? Why do you have Flame Dash and Pierce put together? I'm confused. All right, Stormbrand with Culling Strike, Curse on Hit, Flammability. Steel Skin, cast when damage taken, Frenzy, and Enfeeble. Okay, so Frenzy, so that way you can build up your Frenzy charges. Herald of Thunder, Wrath, and Herald of Ash. Why are we using Wrath? Are we converting a whole bunch of damage? Okay, so we're using a 6-link Zoph's Nurture. Socketed gems are supported by level 20 Ignite Proliferation. So we've got a pseudo 7-link. That's what we've got going on here with our Burning Arrow. That makes sense. 50% of physical damage is converted to fire damage and 10% chance to ignite. Very nice. On our quiver, we've got the Oblivion Bite Spike Arrow Quiver, which has got a, I believe that's tier 1 fire damage over time multiplier, so that's very nice. We've got flat fire added to attacks, we've got life, we've got cold resistance, we've got chaos resistance against damage over time, and then we've got increased elemental damage with attack skills. Okay, so that's a pretty good looking quiver. Our helmet is the Devouring Diadem, which is +1 to Socketed Gems, and then also Socketed Gems have 20% reduced mana reservation. Okay, that makes a considerable amount of sense. In our body armor, we've got Impulsas. Okay, 40% increased damage if you have shocked an enemy recently. 19% increased effective shock. Shocked enemies you kill explode. What are you doing here, Michael? Are you just looking to go as fast as you can and blow everything up quickly? If that's what you're doing, then this is doing that. Right? Like, I don't know what you're actually going to ask here for help for. If you just want to go really fast and fire Vol Burning Arrow every once in a while and see everything explode across the screen, you're probably already doing that. Okay, Storm's Gift, the Assassin's Mitt. Yeah, damage over time increased. Enemies you kill are shocked. Shocks you inflict spread to other enemies within a radius. Yeah. Yeah, so you're killing everything. Everything gets shocked. Everything explodes. Yeah, you're just blowing up whole screens at a time. That's what you're doing. It's like as we read down, going down from top to bottom on this POB, we're just like, are you blowing everything up? I think you're blowing everything up. You are definitely blowing everything up. Okay, that's that. I see what you're going for here. All right, your boots. Wait, we need to come check here. All right, remember, Michael. Remember. Are you using rare boots? If yes, then they better be Tailwind boots. If no, you get the Wrath. You get the Lightning Bolt, man. Here we go. The Hypnotic Pace 2-tone boots. All right, so you got Cold and Lightning Resist. We've got Projectiles Pierce an additional target. Ignites you inflict deal damage 10% faster. Okay, so the Ignites part makes sense because you're prolifing. Projectiles Pierce makes sense. I still think, yeah, maybe you don't have enough crit chance, actually. Maybe you genuinely don't have enough crit chance, because Zoff's is not a lot of crit. Yeah, and you're not attacking fast enough. This is just going to be an attack once or twice every screen at most, because you're just blowing up the entire screen. Yeah, crafted 20% increased move speed. I would... Yeah, Michael says, I've been trying to craft a pair, but I want that Ignite mod too. Yeah, trying to get that Ignite mod plus Tailwind, I can kind of see where you're at. Nonetheless, this league, the requirement is, if you are using... Look at the chart. If you are using rare boots, they need to be using Tailwind. So you get a bit of the Lightning Bolt for that. All right. Your amulet allocates Lava Lash, nice. Then you've got fire damage over time multi, flat fire to attacks, global crit multi, and then flat life. Okay, that all makes sense. What else? On our rings, we've got flat lightning, makes sense. Increased area of effect. Ring 2 is Stormfire, which gives us 7% increased burning damage for each time you have shocked a non-shocked enemy recently. Which, of course, because of the Storm's gift, everything that we kill gets shocked, which means everything that we've killed becomes a 7% increased burning damage mod. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Oh, man. This is brilliant. I like this build, Michael. This is a fun build. You're going to die as soon as anything touches you, but this is a fun build. Alright, you've got the Diadem Dawn, the Heavy Belt. Ignites you inflict with attacks deal damage 42% faster. Yep, and then you've also got some resistances in life. Your flasks, we've got, okay, bleed immunity. It's interesting to see how many players, by the way, will actually put bleed immunity on their first flask. That's actually kind of cool to see the number of players who all think the same way in that regard. Movement speed plus adrenaline, okay, good. Curse immunity on a phasing flask, and then increased evasion rating, okay, with immunity to freeze, and then hey, somebody who's using Cinder Swallow. All right, nice. And you've got 12% increased movement speed. Nice. That's good. Okay, your sockets are Thread of Hope, which is going to give you a bunch of passives. Okay, interesting. So we'll have to see where you use that. You've got a good-looking Cobalt Jewel here that gives you increased lightning damage, increased maximum life, increased elemental resistances, and elemental and lightning resistances. And then your Watcher's Eye is gain 25% of physical damage as extra lightning damage while affected by Wrath. But wait. You don't do any physical damage. Oh, but does that still count? I guess that still counts. So your flat physical damage right here gets calculated before you lose your ability to deal any physical damage, I guess. Huh. That's actually pretty interesting. Nobody Important says, this build seems like a bunch of hilariousness rolled up into a pack of awesome screen clear. Yeah, it does. It does. Michael says, yes, the single target is just horrendous. That's why I'm here. Yeah, I mean, the single target looks god-awful because you don't have a bazillion corpses that you've just shocked and then giving you a bazillion more burning damage. Okay, so I think on the single target, what I would do, I actually don't know. I don't think I would even worry about single target on this build. Okay, now I get why you come up and grab Elemental Overload and Elemental Equilibrium. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I would worry about. I don't honestly on this type of build. Again, it's maybe a silly question. Like, do you remember our previous? Where were we? Let's go all the way back in time. We're gonna go back to our previous diagram. Bossing, a diagram. Like, your build is the same category as these other assassin builds. Like, don't make mistakes. You've got 4,600 life. You're never going to ignite anything. I think, personally, I would set this up with a second 6 link. Then again, like, the number of items that are dedicated to making this build work, a second 6 link isn't gonna do it. I think this is a fantastic clear build that, as far as the powers of my knowledge are exposed to, I don't think that you could convert this into a boss killer, to my knowledge, without swapping out several different items. You could do a couple different item swaps, and then it would become a boss killer. But because you're scaling so much damage off of enemies that you are killing, and scaling off of that much, one thing that you could do, you could go in with, with the worms, right? With the writhing jar. They're not shocked, and then you just pop a bunch of writhing jars, and then you blow a bunch of those up, and then you get 7% increased burning damage. So go five writhing jars into a boss chamber, and then blow up the writhing jar, and then, hey, you have a bunch more burning damage for a second. I don't know. I think that's what I would try. I would try that. Go in with five writhing jars into a boss chamber. See how it goes. Yeah, Explosive Arrow is a better version of Burning Arrow. Yeah. I think there's a lot that you would have to do here. You would basically have to rebuild the build in order to make this a bossing build. I think this looks like an exceptionally fun, clear build, but I don't think it's ever going to be much of a bossing build. That's just me. Okay, here we go. Here's one from somebody who tried to send yesterday. James Moray for America. So, we are about to feature your build, my man. So here we go. Let's go back to our import-export. Oh, let's make a new build, by the way. That was fun, Michael. You were absolutely right in thinking that I would think that was a fun build. That is a fun build. I can see myself playing that build. I can see myself not playing that build as a league starter and not playing that build because I want to be a boss killer. I could see myself playing that build because I just want to go have fun in maps. Like, it seems like the epitome of a fun mapping build. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that particular build. Okay, I'm going to grab a drink real quick. We're going to play a commercial here real quick. And then, yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink. What should we put on here? I'm gone. Oh, somebody said something about auction house. So I'm gonna earlier today. Somebody had said, "Hey, don't you have a video on the auction house?" So here, I'm gonna pull up our auction house video, and we can watch that while I grab a drink before we get on to James Forays for America's POB. So here we go. Oh my goodness, I'm not bald in this video. What's the deal with that?
And what is up, YouTube? My name is G3 Iron, and today we are going to be taking a look at the topic of the auction house inside Path of Exile, or rather the lack thereof of an auction house inside Path of Exile. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and click the bell to get future conversations like this one notified directly to you. So today, our table of contents are as follows. First off, we're going to talk about why do so many people want an auction house? And I mean, there's a ton of people that want an auction house. This is not an insignificant number of players. It is not an insignificant percentage of players. This is indeed a great debate to have, not simply because it's a fun debate. I don't just mean great as in enjoyable. I also mean great as in numerical. There's a lot of people that are lined up on either sides of this issue's pro or con for an auction house. So we're going to take a look at why do some people want one. Then we're going to take a look at what would the theoretical benefits of an auction house look like. What would some of the pros be if there was an auction house that was added into the game of Path of Exile? Then we're going to take a look at a couple of suggestions of implementations of an auction house. There's a bunch of different people that have come up with a bunch of different great ideas. A lot of them come from other games or from other real-life examples that players and users have come up with. So we're going to take a look at a couple of those. Then we're going to ask the question, why hasn't Grinding Gear Games added an auction house to the game yet? If there's all these wonderful reasons and all these wonderful suggestions and methods for adding an auction house, why isn't it here yet? Then we're going to transition and really move the conversation forward, hopefully, to actually move the conversation beyond simply screeching at one another. Rah, auction house, pro auction house, yay, or boo, no auction house, keep it the way it is. So hopefully we're going to move the discussion beyond simply screeching at one another. Oh, Iron, I think there ought to be an auction house. Oh, Iron, I don't think there should be. We're going to try and move beyond that today into a little bit more articulate of conversation. Then we're going to move on to some wild assertions from the present context of PoE about what an auction house might do to the environment of PoE and why maybe having an auction house might be good and maybe not having an auction house might be good for PoE. Then, of course, we're going to wrap up with some discussion questions for you, the G3 community. You are always, of course, welcome to leave a comment down below with any feedback, ideas, or assertions, wild assertions of your own about the auction house. I always love reading your comments and enjoy engaging in debate and discussion with all of you. So, why do some want an auction house in Path of Exile? Well, first off, trading with other players can be frustrating. This is one of the top reasons that I saw in my search of the forums and in my search of various other platforms that players use, such as Reddit, such as in-game chat, such as Discord, just in chatting with other players and interacting with folks, as well as doing some in-depth research using the forums. Why is it for years, dating back at least the earliest thread that I looked at, not the earliest one that I found, but the earliest one that I looked at was dating back to 2014, where people were clamoring for an auction house. And a lot of player comments around this topic have been that trading with other players can be frustrating. It can be frustrating for numerous reasons. One, sometimes people are AFK, and you've probably tried to trade maps in Path of Exile. You've probably tried to trade currency with people in Path of Exile, and it's incredibly frustrating to go into a scenario where you are hoping to come out on the other side with a successful trade, so you message somebody, and sure enough, you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and nothing happens. Or maybe you're a more experienced trader, and you know a lot of people that are listing their goods are going to be AFK. So you spam a whole bunch of people, and then it's even more depressing when none of those whole bunch of people respond to you because they're all AFK or price fixing, as it were. So,
all right, we're going to pause that particular video. Welcome back to everybody and anybody who's back. So we are now going to get back to, who is this? James Moray for America on your build, which this looks like it's a juggernaut build. Love me some juggernaut builds. A couple of you are asking questions. Let me catch my breath. Sir Smoke-A-Lot 1985 says, G3 Iron, is your POB help limited to patrons only? Nope. We do special streams like this today where we just give out help and useless memes and feedback to various path of buildings. So if you would like to submit yours, you can send me a Discord PM with your POB. But what we do offer for Patreon supporters is we do this basically every single month. People who are supporters at the elite tier, at the $10 tier, will make a video featuring their build and how they can improve it for various supporters who are supporters at that level and above. And that's a specific video, not a live stream. So there's a lot more thought that goes into it. You guys are just getting my natural raw thoughts at this point in time where I'm not developing a whole bunch of notes and putting in a whole bunch of extra research time. So this is quite quite a simpler or more simplistic approach to build help and advice, where really we're only catching like the most glaring of glaring stuff. And we may or may not get to everybody's POB today. If YouTube is correct, then according to YouTube, what is this? Almost 500 people have been through the stream today I'm not going to be able to get to 500 POBs. So that's just not going to happen. Okay, so let's take a look at this juggernaut, at this thick juggernaut. So first off, let's take a look at your skills. Oh, I'm in love already, James. I'm in love already. We are a Herald of Agony build. All right. So a Herald of Agony with Pierce, damage on full life, empower, and awaken vicious projectiles. All right. James, I don't know if this is hardcore, by the way. If this is a hardcore build, even more power to you. I love Herald of Agony. I love Juggernaut. So I'm glad to be doing this build. I'm glad that we got a chance to see this build. So you've got Cyclone set up on a 4-link with Withering Touch, Fortify, and then Life Gain on hit. Excellent. This also looks like a good setup defensively. We've got Flame Dash and Convocation. What's your cast when damage taken setup? Desecrate and Spirit Offering. Okay, good. It's relatively low level. This is what I was talking about earlier. Those of you who were actually saying like, oh, hey, why wouldn't you want a high level cast when damage taken for higher level spells? Like sometimes you want it for a higher level spell. Sometimes it's not needed for a higher level spell. Sometimes it's just ridiculous to set your cast when damage taken so high that it's only going to trigger when you're already going to die off of a second hit anyway. So that's a consideration. Flesh and Stone and then Vol Molten Shell. Okay. All right. I like it. I like this build. Let's go take a look at your setup. You've got double Cold Iron Point. Okay, so that's +6 to the level of your Herald of Agony Crawler. Nice. You've got a helmet that gives you +3 to level of Socketed Minion Gems. Nice. Is that where your Herald of Agony Crawler is in? It's in your helmet. Okay. So right now, your Herald of Agony Crawler is 21 from the base of the gem. You're getting +6. Let's put this into meme format. So let's take this here and see what we can do with this. So James's Herald of Agony Crawler. How do we draw a spider? Let's do that. Spiders kind of have like a circle body, right? And he's green. He's like a greenish kind of guy. He's got like some legs here, right? Is this going to be a cat or is this going to be like a scorpion spider? I don't know. We'll find out. He's got like a tail back here. Oh, my brush is much too small. Let's get a bit bigger brush. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we feel like Bob Ross. Okay, now we got a tail here. He's got like 2 little pincers, right? He's got like a little mouth here with like a pincer. And he's got some more legs. We probably ought to give him some more legs, right? Poor guy needs more legs. He's kind of got like a raised back, right? Like a raised kind of arch back. Kind of. Am I remembering this right? I've only played like 4 Herald of Agony builds. You'd think I can remember this. And then he's got like straight. Do we have GMP linked up with this? No, we have Pierce. So he's only firing a couple of projectiles here, but they're all piercing. So we're going to put the letter P. Yeah, today's meme is brought to you by the letter P. So we're going to take this. We're going to move this. Yeah, look at all these projectiles that are piercing projectiles fired by our Herald of Agony Crawler. That's going to feel great. Meanwhile, here's James's actual character. James's character is like over here. He's just a dude, right? He's a thick jug. So we've got to make him at least a little bit thick. There we go. There's the jug. He's got 1 arm over here and 1 arm over here. Do you have a shield? No, he doesn't have a shield, right? He's using 2 cold iron points. So here's one of them. Here's the other one. And then his helmet's pretty epic. Right? Helmet is pretty epic. All right. And then what else? Oh, and he's cycloning. Right, he's cycloning. So we need black. The brush needs to be really, really thin. Whoops. Is that thin? Is that the thin one? Here we go. Oh, no, that's terrible. That's utterly awful. Where's my pencil? Here we go. Pencil. So, and he's cycloning. Woo! Okay. So, enough with the memes. So, this is our build. Herald of Agony, Pierce, damage on full life, empower, awaken, viscerous. We've got Cyclone set up. Our tree is going to be set up in such a way that I'm expecting you to come up here and take this whole load. Not quite all of it. So you take Righteous Army, Spiritual Aid. You don't take Redemption. That's fine. It's nice as a quality of life thing. It's not needed, by the way. It really is not needed. But it's nice. If you can do it, it's nice. Also, you don't need to grab anything in the sacrifice wheel because your only minion is Herald of Agony. Herald of Agony does not have life, so you don't need to scale its life, which is really nice. You can just spend your points on minion attack and cast speed. That's part of the reason why I would say come over here and grab Redemption, but again, you don't really need the minion accuracy. Another thing to potentially consider on this build is to come up and grab Enduring Bond. Minions deal 20% increased damage, and then minions deal 20% increased damage if you've used a minion skill recently, and then increased duration is also a thing that is quite helpful for your Herald of Agony Crawler, just in terms of the flat damage that you're getting. You do have Grave Pact, which is good. You've got Combat Stamina, which is allocated. That's nice. Do you come down here and take Soul of Steel? You do. Good lad. Okay, and we're going to avoid being stunned because we are unbreakable, we are also unflinching, and then we are unrelenting, and then lastly we are unstoppable. So we don't have to worry about getting stunned. We've got a whole bunch of additional armor from our body armor, and then we've got a whole bunch of effect of our endurance charges, and then of course movement speed cannot be slowed, which is great. It means that chill effect doesn't matter to us. Our total amount of life on this particular build, where are you at? 9,000 life. Look at this. 9,000 life. Okay. Hi. Hello, YouTube. My name is G3Iron. For the last hour and a half or so, we've been looking at assassins. We've looked at a couple of guardians and inquisitors. A few people who I would say are on the tankier side. This, by far, so far, at least for this stream session, wins the tanky battle. You've got how many different endurance charges are you stacking? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're at 6 endurance charges. Oh, and then a 7th from over here, right? Unflinching gives us a 7th. So you're at 7 endurance charges, which is definitely going to fizz cap us. You've got 17,000 armor, so we've got plenty of armor to survive massive hits. Our defensive stats are 77, 76, 76 on resistances. Our chaos res is 58%, which is great. And then on top of that, we've got a life pool of 9,000 life. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. It's really good. It's a lot of life. Okay, James, so you say, how can I improve this build? Well, a couple of things. First thing, this is a whole bunch of armor up here with Sanctum of Thought. If you don't want the armor, then you can just get rid of it, right? Don't worry about it. Get rid of it. One thing that I like to do is I like to scale up jewel sockets as much as possible. You've noticed that probably on build guides. You've noticed that probably as we're looking at POBs. Jewel sockets are some of the most efficient and flexible nodes that you can take. So for instance, this takes 3 nodes to get to. This is also percentage increased armor. Granted, it's not as much armor as you're getting from up here with Sanctum of Thought. It's less armor, but it would also give you a jewel socket, which would give you increased life. Frankly, right now, nothing is going to kill you that's physical based anyway, unless it's a physical dot, in which case your physical mit and armor don't matter as much. So I would get rid of these 3 points. Come over here and grab another jewel socket. Another spot that you could grab a jewel socket is, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, these are going to be 4 points either way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4 points away. You could grab a jewel socket that's here. That's 2 jewel sockets that you could grab. That's potentially another 14% increased maximum life. So that's quite nice. K-Trim with the meme. Shout out to K-Trim in chat. It's over 9,000. It is officially over 9,000. That's right. Yes, we know the patch is up for a download here, Hart. I have been supposedly preparing to launch it for like the last hour. So whenever Steam decides to get around to it, it'll be great. So damage-wise, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I don't know, Legion Dusty. I don't know why YouTube's defaults to top chat. For me, it doesn't do that. For me, it shows everybody in a stream of chat, and it shows your timestamps. Maybe that's a setting? I don't know. All right, coming back over here. Other things that you can do to improve your damage. I would say you could travel all the way up and grab Enduring Bond. You also could come over here and grab Fearsome Force, which is increased area of effect, as well as minion damage, and then it's minion attack speed, or no, minion area of effect on the way to it. That's what, 5 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you don't even have enough points on the way to level 100. So that's an option. One thing that I like to debate, and I almost always do this on a build, when I'm taking the Scion Life Wheel is actually to debate the validity of filling out the Scion Life Wheel. So there's a lot of life on the Scion Life Wheel. There's no doubt about that. It's great. I've just told a whole bunch of players, hey, if you want to get more tanky, go get the Scion Life Wheel, right? If it's available, you grab it. However, a couple of considerations here. One consideration is the amount of points that it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? It's 8 total points. So if we take away 3 of these points in order to give us 1 more jewel socket, right? It's getting rid of 15% of life to grab another jewel socket, which will give us only 7% of life. So we are losing out on life efficiency, but it's potentially giving us other stats as well, right? So if you can get rid of multiple of this tree once you're already over here and replace it with jewel sockets, you can actually come eerily close to being efficient on the same levels, but also getting additional stats in addition to life. So most of the time you'll see me say, hey, you don't have enough life on a build. This build has got 9k life, it's got plenty of strength, it's got lots of life gain on hit, you've got great life regen, you've got great life gain on hit, so like your recovery mechanisms are there, right? Recovery mechanisms are there, no problem. But if you want to increase your build's potency, one thing you can do is you can actually remove some of those 5% life nodes and increase your efficiency by grabbing a couple of jewel sockets and grabbing some more damage. Okay, on your chest piece, you're using a combs. That makes sense. Your gloves, supported by poison and faster attacks. Okay, is this where your travel... This has got to be where your travel skill is located, right? Cyclone? Yep, Cyclone is in faster attacks. Okay. So Cyclone is in faster attacks. And then you've got kind of the low end actually here on life. It's nice, the faster attacks and the attack speed, but you're actually kind of on the low end here for your gloves for the life roll. Your boots, you're not going to be critting that much, so actually, again, Tailwind isn't going to be that big of a deal for you. Where is your Cyclone setup? Your crit chance is what? Oh, you can't even crit, right? Because you're a Resolute Technique. Yeah, so you won't deal crits. So you're the only person thus far, James Moray for America, you're the only person thus far the entire day that gets away without getting a bolt of lightning sent at you for Tailwind, because it genuinely won't do anything for your build. You won't be able to proc it with Tailwind boots, so this is good. One way you can improve these boots is getting some better life roll on them, and then of course getting a higher movement speed roll on them, but those are some pretty decent boots for what you're using them for. It's amazing that you've got 9k life with those boots, though, with a sub 100 anything in any of your sockets, which means that your life is going to go ridiculously higher as you continue to fill out these items. Your amulet has got all resistance on it, and then it's got 40 to all attributes. That's really nice. So this is basically an Instrumentus. That's basically what you're using this for. Just a whole bunch of stats. Your ring, you are using a Thief's Torment because, of course, you're getting life gain on hit. That makes sense. Your belt is a Stygian Vise. It's giving you flat life, and then it's giving you some chaos resistance and some cold and some chaos along with some strength. I would say you can probably upgrade this, right? You've got to have the currency to upgrade this, right, James? Like, this is a relatively cheap build up until this point. I don't know if you're still in chat, by the way, James. But if you are, that belt would definitely be something to consider upgrading. Your Abyssal socket is life and then chance to blind on hit. Okay, that's nice. And then you regenerate 1% of life per second while moving. Okay, I like it. This is a really defensive setup. I can see how you've made it to level 96. It's not going to be the fastest build, but it's going to be very, very consistent, and not much stuff is going to kill you. All right, for your flasks, you've got Divine Life for bleeding. You've got life for freeze. You've got another life for staunching. So you got 2 bleeding flasks? Yeah, you got 2 bleeding flasks here. Then you've got an armor life flask, and then you've got immunity to bleeding. So you've got 3 bleeding flasks. Guys, can we tell the one thing that James hates to die to? I don't know, guys. Can you tell? All right, let's add to our meme here. Here's James with his flasks. Here's all 5 of his flasks are just no bleeding flasks. Where's the little circle? Let's zoom in here. This is James' build. Where's our little circle? Where's our line through it? No bleeding. No blood allowed. Oh man. On these life flasks. There we go. And it's a magic life flask. There we go. And you got 3 of them, James. 3 out of your 5 flasks are no bleeding flasks. This is great. It's not a problem. You've identified what the problem is that potentially kills your build, and you've said, no, get that hex away from me. I don't want to deal with it. That's great. For those of you who are like, oh my goodness, how do I target my build, or how do I accommodate my build for the things that are killing me? Well, this is one way. You identify the thing that kills you, and then you make sure it never, ever kills you again. You build around it, and you adjust to it. All right, other sockets are minions have increased attack speed, cast speed, and flat life. Flat life, minions attack and cast speed. And flat life, minions have move speed. Yeah, this is good. And then golden rule, which is good. Bleeding you inflict is reflected to you. And then, of course, poison you inflict is reflected to you if you have fewer than 100 poisons on you. This is great. One thing that you can do, if ever poison actually is starting to kill you, on your pantheons, you can go for, where is it? Is it Arakali? No, it's this one. Nope. Which one is it? What's her name? It's the Desert Spring Tier 15 boss. It's none of these guys. It's poison. Poison no longer affects you. Immune to poison. That's one thing you can do if poison's ever killing you. Just as a general tip for anybody out there. If you're like, oh my gosh, why am I dying to all these poisons? You can go with Soul of Shikari and actually do that. You can use that with Golden Rule on Flicker Strike. And the poison won't kill you, but the Golden Rule will still work. So throw that out there as a suggestion for those of you that would like it. All right, it actually looks like PoE is actually loading now. Thank goodness Steam decided to cooperate. But while that is loading, let's go onward to our next build. James, I loved your build. I think it's great. All right, Raul says, hey, it's Raul from YouTube chat. Wanted to submit this to see if you can get even more bald. Oh, thanks, Raul. Gonna respec a bit to get more life into the process of getting a higher life body armor and better boots. Everything but the quiver is self-found or crafted. So happy all in all. Love the content. Love the Discord. So many nice people. There are so many nice people here. I like that. I like that we've got a lot of nice people. All right, let's go back over to our POB. Let's load up Raul's POB. Let's find out what kind of character he is using. James says TY for the help. Oh yes, TY for the help. It's my pleasure. I'm not sure what help we gave you other than just drawing a meme of your build and saying, hey, maybe you have too much life on here. Grab a few more jewel sockets. Oh, look at this, guys. This is our first ranger for the day. All right. Raul, thank you. Thank you so much for submitting a ranger. Rangers are good, guys. Trust me. They actually are. All right, we've got Gathering Winds, which gives us Tailwind. We've got Far Shot. We've got Ricochet, so we've got a chain build. And we've got Endless Munitions, so accuracy and increase of area of effect, and then an additional projectile. It's a little spread out. It comes down into the duelist tree. It grabs Volpact. That's good. I automatically like builds that actually take the time to click on keystones that are good and that are right next to them. It's a crit build because he's going Alira. Alright, let's go take a look at his skills. His main skill is not Blink Arrow, but rather Blink Arrow, Empower, and faster attacks. Steel Skin, Summon Ice Golem, cast when damage taken, Frost Bomb. Barrage! Okay, interesting. Barrage on a 5-link in his armor, elemental damage with attacks, elemental focus, cold penetration, added cold. So one way you can improve this right away is start corrupting these babies. Corrupt these babies and get them to level 21. Alright, Hatred, Herald of Ice, Ice Bite, nice, with Enlighten, nice. Ice Shot is socketed into Weapon 1. Okay, so we're a bow build, right? Ice Shot, added cold damage, hypothermia, elemental damage with attacks, inspiration, and mirage archer. Okay. And then Assassin's Mark off of our ring. Okay, so we are an Ice Shot build. We are freezing things and exploding them. So... And you've got Ice Bite rather than Hypothermia linked with Herald of Ice. Okay. Alright, our Ice Shot damage is... What is this? 191,000. Our average total DPS is just over 500,000. Let's go take a look at our items. Grolich says, nice people. Where? Oh, here. Too rare. Got confused. Yeah, no, there's some nice people in our G3 community. Which, by the way, if you are new to the channel or you're new to chat, welcome to the stream. You can go ahead and click on the video description down below. We actually have a guild Discord invite if you'd like to join us for any reason. We've got over, I think the last check that I did yesterday, we've got over 700 people on the Discord now, which is just crazy. So we got tons of people on the Discord that are happy to help out with build advice, help out with challenge completion, help out with price fixing stuff. Did I say price fixing? With fixing prices of stuff, with checking the prices of stuff. I mean, we also do price fixing stuff too, right? If you're interested in learning how to price fix, we've got people who know how to do that as well. So that's great. If you hate price fixers, I'm sure there are people on the Discord chat that are willing to commiserate with you as well. All right, so let's take a look at Raul's items here. So the Arborix bow attack fires 2 additional arrows. Every 16 seconds you gain iron reflexes for 8 seconds. Then you get 30% more damage with arrow hits at close range while you have iron reflexes. Then 30% increased cast movement speed while you do not have iron reflexes. You have far shot while you do not have iron reflexes. Okay. Cool. That seems like a fun build. Fun build enabling unique there. On your quiver, you've got the Void Fletcher, which consumes a Void Charge to trigger level 20 Void Shot when you fire arrows. Yep. Then you've got 30% increased projectile speed and 5 maximum Void Charges. This is double corrupted to gain 9% of physical damage as extra lightning damage, and then adds 4 to 61 lightning damage to bow attacks. Alright. Our helmet. We don't care about the lab enchant. We're not using Bane. But the helmet looks like it's an evasion helmet with 500 evasion. It's just giving us 109 life, 46 intelligence, and then 43 to fire resistance. There's got to be a better fossil crafted helmet that you could go for. I wonder if even grabbing like a helmet that's got minion mods on it, +2 to minions, and then you throw your golem in there. There's got to be something that you can do with that helmet. Alright, your chest piece gives you % increased life, good. Flat life, good. Cold resistance and lightning resistance, and then crafted life and mana. That's really good. That's a good chest piece. I am a fan of your chest piece. It's a good chest piece. Your boots are not Tailwind boots. But that's okay. You already have Tailwind because you're a ranger. You're a Deadeye. So you don't need Tailwind. You already have Tailwind whenever you use a move skill. So it's acceptable. There's a couple of these instances where it's acceptable. Alright, you get 79 life. Fire, move speed. So you can definitely increase the life and then the move speed on that. Your resistances aren't perfect, but they're probably needed. What are your overcapped resistances? Yeah, you need those resistances. 7, 75, 22 on your overcap, so you need those resistances. If you can get better boots, get better boots, man. Get better boots that have got some chaos resistance and that have got tier 1 move speed. But that's going to be a pretty significant chunk of currency. I would think that's pretty significant. So, alright, your amulet is the Pandemonious. Chill enemy for 1 second when hit, reducing their action speed by 30%, and then you blind chilled enemies on hit, which is nice. Damage penetrates 20% of cold resistance against chilled enemies. This is a massive, massive DPS boost. You can see this. He's getting about 20% of his damage from this one particular item slot. So those of you who are wondering, hey, how can I scale up my damage? And Pandemonious is fantastic. There's a reason why I think it's like the second or third most expensive amulet in the league right now is the Pandemonious. So there's a reason for that. Alright, did we ever actually get into game? We did. Woo! Let's go hang out in our celestial hideout. Now that we're in game. And I can choose the music. Yeah! I like choosing the music. Alright, let's look here. What are your rings? You've got the Beast Whirl. Okay, that's where you're getting your Assassin's Mark. This ring is insane. Whirl, my dude. Whenever you're done with the league, if you want to give me this ring... No, I'm just kidding. This ring is really, really good. It gives you fantastic cold and lightning resistance. Gives you a whole bunch of flat added cold damage to attacks. Gives you cold resistance. Gives you elemental damage to attacks. And then it's got crafted increased cold damage. This is a really, really good ring, dude. How much did you spend on this ring? How much did you spend on this ring? That's a good ring. And if you tell me like 2 chaos, I'm gonna tell you that you grossly underpaid. You absolutely scammed somebody out of a fantastic, fantastic ring. The damage on this ring is out of this planet, dude. Okay, this is what happens to your damage if we take this off. You lose 12% of your damage. 12% of your damage is off of your ring. Hey, what's up, Heavy in the game? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the chat, my man. Good to have you. Alright, your Stygian Vise has got lightning and fire, along with 31% to elemental damage with attack skills. Nice. It doesn't have percentage increased life on it, but we'll forgive you. We'll forgive you. It's got decent rolls. Your Abyssal is flat cold damage to bow attacks, phasing, and then increased cast speed if you've dealt a critical strike recently. We don't really care about cast speed, though. So you could upgrade that. The goal for your jewels on any build is to get 3 stats that all apply to your build. That's the goal. Yeah, your effective crit chance is out of this world, by the way. It's 81%. That's really nice. Alright, let's look at your flasks. You've got a Bubbling Divine Flask. So immune to poison. You've got a Chemist Flask of Staunching. Nice. On your Diamond Flask, you've got a Quicksilver for curses. Okay. You've got a Basalt Flask of Heat. Nice. And then you've got a Cinder Swallow. How much armor do you actually have? You don't have armor. Yeah, you don't have armor. So your physical damage reduction, like, is this. Your Basalt Flask is your physical damage reduction. If we don't have this, you have no physical damage reduction. So right now, world, you die if anything hits you, right? Like, it's pretty insane. I mean, I guess you're a ranger, so just don't get hit, right? Forehead. Just don't get hit. That's just the reality of it. If you never get hit, you never have to worry about taking damage. Which on your tree, you came over and took... Yeah, you took aggro and phase aggro. Okay. So you're never going to get hit. And everything's going to be frozen as you're running around. Okay, you are level 93. You've got Volpact. That's good. You came up and you grabbed Bravery. That's good. Oh, somebody wants to buy some stacked decks? Sure, come to my hideout. Come give me some exalts. I think at this point, life isn't going to be the best thing for you to scale up. I think at this point, it's actually going to be move speed and action speed. So, like, one thing that you're going to actually want to look for, Whirl, is if there's any way that you can scale up your frenzy charges, which I haven't looked yet. Maybe you already have tried that. Maybe you've already included that. But that's going to be the next thing that I'm going to look for. You have not scaled up your frenzy charges. Okay. So here's the good news. You still have a bunch more damage and more speed that you can build into this build. So here's one frenzy charge you can grab. Here's 2 frenzy charges you can grab. Here's a 3rd frenzy charge you can grab. Each of those is 2 points away off of your tree. So you could get rid of 10% increased life and go grab a frenzy charge. You're at nearly 5,000 life. It just depends on the content that you are farming and whether or not you're dying a whole bunch. If you want to keep pushing to level 94, or if you just want to stay where you're at and call it good. Again, this is not what I would call a boss killer build, although if you can freeze bosses, that's great. But this is going to be a fantastic clearing build. So yeah, so I would upgrade, get upgrades on those gems, get upgrades on your boots. Even on this ring, if you could upgrade it, it would be nice. I get that it gives you your assassin's mark. And then also I would try upgrading your jewels a bit. So this one with fire damage to bow attacks we don't really care about. I would say if you can get the crit chance, or just flat cold damage to attacks like this one, if you can duplicate this, that's what you'd want. Maybe getting maximum life on there instead. Yeah, and then upgrading this jewel as well. So 2 out of your 4 jewels could be upgraded. Arborix is probably a pretty massive boost for your damage. Just between the cycling of getting iron reflexes versus having far shot. That being said, that would probably be the next biggest thing that you could upgrade, would just be to be getting a massive flat cold damage bow. I would think that would be the only other thing. But the physical damage on that is pretty sick. It's pretty great for just a unique, like that you can rely on. So that's pretty good. Oh, look at this! Somebody wants to give me 34 stack decks. Come on in, my man. Come on in, said the spider to the fly. All right, who is up next on our next build? This is Legion Dusty. Is going to be the next one up on our next build. So let's go back. Don't save. Go to new. And let's let Legion know. Import. You're next, man. You are about to be featured. So let's let him know. All right, he's got a Hierophant build that's going on here. All right, that's fun. So we'll take a look. That's our first Hierophant of the day that we're looking at. It's exciting. Not quite as exciting as making currency. But close. Close. It's pretty close. Alright, were there any messages that I missed out on? King B says, are you Iron Draconis 1474 on Discord? That's where I sent my build. Yes, that's me on Discord. Alright, so let's pull up Legion Dusty here. And let's take a look. So he is a Hierophant. Let's take a look at what he's doing over here. Divine Guidance, so he's giving himself some increased mana, and then 10% of damage is taken from mana before life, along with Transfiguration of Mind. Ooh, that's exciting. Then we've got Pursuit of Faith. Oh, it's a totem build! We've got ourselves a totem user, guys! We all know what to do. Haze him in chat, quick. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go look up what's Transfiguration of the Mind PoE, because I need to be reminded. I'm sure everybody else remembers what that is, but I don't. Okay, Transfiguration of the Mind. Causing increases and reduction to maximum mana, also to apply to damage at 30% of their value. Ooh. Okay. Alright, so I like this. So this is going to be a mana stacking, spell damage dealing Hierophant. Alright, so what's our flat mana? We've got increased 198% on the tree. Where's my calculator? So 198 divided by, what, 100 gives us a percentage point. Multiply that by 30%. Okay. So we're getting 59% increased spell damage from Transfiguration of the Mind. Not bad. That's not bad. Like, just for stacking something that you already want to stack. That's not a bad ratio. Not a bad ratio, not a bad sum total. Alright, who's this guy and what does he want to trade? Oh, he's giving me 10x. That's great. Give me that 10x. Trade me all your money. Nobody will get hurt. 100, 210. Okay, 290. Ta-da! Alright, let's take a look at your skills. What are you using here? Oh! Freezing Pulse! You're a Freezing Pulse Totem guy! Alright, we gotta draw this one out. Alright, so Freezing Pulse Totem guy. So we need an old man. So we need the body of an old man. And he's so old, he's gray. His legs are actually... Oh, look at his spine. His spine is... Oh, look at it. Man, his spine is actually out of joint. That's how old this guy is. And look, he's got 2 hands, because I'm going to guess you're dual wielding, right? Of course you're dual wielding! Ah! Why would you use a shield? You're playing softcore. Okay, so you're using a shield. Not. You're dual wielding wands. And then here's our head. Oh wait, our head needs to be gray. Crap. Our head is gray. And it's got to be bald, right? Yeah, definitely bald. And then we got some ears over here. Here's one ear. Here's another ear. And we need some like grayish streaks of hair. Some gray streaks of hair. They're kind of like hanging off of his head here. Slightly balding indeed. Okay, so there's our Templar's face. And he's freezing totems. Freezing pulse totems. Where's my object? Where's my rounded rectangle? Okay, there we go. So here's 1 totem. Here's 2 totems. I'm gonna guess he can put out 6. Am I right? No, he's not using multiple totem support. Okay, so how many totems does he actually have? Can I see that in the calcs? Where's the number of totems? Configuration? No, it's not configuration. It'd be in calcs if it was anywhere. Number of totems? It's not going to be over here, is it? It's not over here. Is it over here? No, it's not over here. Dang it! There should be a thing that just says max number of totems. There probably is, and I'm probably missing it. Okay, so we're going to say 1, 2, plus the base one, right? Yeah. Okay, so 3 totems. So 3. Here's a 3rd totem. The 3rd totem. Alright. There we go. And then we need big sweeping, like white bluish freezing pulses, right? Here we go. Here come the freezing pulse. Look at these totems. These totems do so much damage. Look at these freezing pulses coming out of these totems. Now tell me, if you were a boss in PoE, wouldn't you be intimidated by this? By this old man who's like, argh! Here's one eye. Look, I mean, look at his eyes. His eyes look so intense. Oh, here's his nose. There we go. And then he's got kind of like a frown. Look at this guy, right? Oh, and he's got magical effects. He's got to have like some magical conjuring effects, right? So here's some magical conjuring effects. Ooh, he's summoning the totems. Woo! Okay. So here's our freezing pulse totem guy. So of course we're going to go with MOM because MOM is fantastic, and we've already got like mini MOM here with Divine Guidance. So essentially at the moment we've got 40% of damage that is taken from mana before life. Our total amount of mana is 2,800. Our total life is 4,500. So our effective life pool is actually 2,871 plus 4548. So we've got 7,400 effective life right now. Our resistances... Whoa! My man! Time out! Time out! So Legend, this might come as bad news to you. These resistances are not acceptable, sir. Those resistances are not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. You're gonna get creased really quickly with those resistances. Like, you're just absolutely gonna get creamed for them. So, I would highly recommend that you update those resistances. We're going to take a look at your items here in just a second and tell you how you can update those resistances, but that's a serious problem. If your resistances are actually at that point, or you're relying on flasks for your resistances, you're going to die a whole bunch. Hey, you messaged me, man. You messaged me for the trade. Do you want to trade? Alright, let's trade. I can already hear some of you on YouTube chat screaming, Iron, this is why they need an auction house, right? Right? Go away. Go away, you wicked trolls. Go away. Alright, 87 for 3. This is not why we need an auction house. This is just why we need people to respond when they actually come to hideouts. Then again, sometimes I take a little bit when I'm responding to trades as well. So I probably just should be a little bit more gracious. Okay, so we've got 3 freezing totems. We've got terrible resistances. I'm actually surprised you were able to ascend with these resistances. Well, actually, if you ascended, you're level 95. How are you level 95 with these resistances? What are you doing? What am I missing? I'm missing something. If not, this is just the most amazing thing. Where are you getting your resistances from, my man? According to POB, your resistances are 61, 66, 62, and minus 25. Alright, nobody important. See you, mate. Enjoy the rest of your night. I don't understand this. Oh, and you're using Spider Soul Mantle. Okay. So it's 4. It's actually 4 totems. You are absolutely right, Chris Wheeler. It should be 4 totems. You are absolutely right. It's totally 100% correct. It should be 4 totems. So you know what? Let's go edit. Let's go edit this. And you know how we're going to edit this? We're just going to grab this, and we're just going to copy, and we're just going to paste it right here. And we're not going to fix the top half of that bubble. That's a part of the effect. Okay. So how is this working? So we've got a good wand here. This is good. This wand could be another one of these. +1 to level of all cold spell, right? It would be nice. If we did both of these, what would our DPS do? If we did both Empyreans, would it go up? It would go up a bit. Not a ton, but a bit. So if you can do that, that would be nice. If you could get 2 +1 to cold, that would be good. Your helmet is the crown of the inward eye, which this is giving you a whole bunch of transfigurations. Then you've got the soul mantle, which is going to curse you. Are you immune to curses based on... You don't even have a curse immunity. Okay, you're double Kikazu. So it's 80% reduced effective curses on you. It's still a lot of curse, dude. It's a lot of curses on you. I give you props here on this, man. Did you do a Lyra? It says up here on your bandit that you actually have 2 passive points. That's what it says. Jane KZ says, got back from walking the dog. Did I miss my POB? No, you did not. I think you're actually up next. So 15% isn't showing up because you helped Alira? Okay, so if you helped Alira, I can swap that up. We can do that. That makes you capped. That makes a lot more sense. Now it makes sense why you're level 95. I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Sitting at 62%. No way. It's like taking 100% increase more damage. There's no way. Alright, let's take a look at your gloves. Your gloves are increased damage with hits against chilled enemies. Nice. Definitely low on the fire resist side. And that flat evasion roll is really bad. So if you can upgrade those gloves, that would be good. Your boots. Dodge chance, increased move speed, a little bit of life, and a little bit of fire. Well, that's actually a lot of fire resist. Those are okay boots. But again, those are upgradable. So they're definitely upgradable. Your amulet. Your amulet, that's a lot of spell damage. I think that's tier 1 spell damage. It's got good global crit strike. That's really low all elemental resistances and really low life. So you could upgrade both of those. You have to use the Kikazu because of the effects of curses. I get it. And then the mana regen doesn't hurt either. It's actually quite nice. Your belt is not a Stygian Vise. It's got flat mana, max life, cold and lightning and fire. One suggestion, since you are actually playing a, what do you call it? A Hierophant. Like, one thing that you might want to do is actually consider, like, purchasing, seriously consider purchasing a Stygian Vise, so that way you can get some more flat mana on a Abyssal Jewel. That's one thing that I would do. Check Sanctum of Thoughts. Do you have, where is it? Sanctum of Thoughts? Oh, for 20% reduced effective curses. Okay, so right now you have 0% effective curse on you, right? Between the two Kikazos and Sanctum of Thought. Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense. All right, let's go back to items. Thank you for pointing that out. Otherwise, I totally would have missed that. So I would go in here and upgrade my boots. I'd get better resistances, better life. I'd go in here on my gloves, get better resistances and gloves. I would get a second one of those wands that gives +1 to all cold gems. And then on top of that, the next thing that I would do, I would go get a Stygian Vise for a belt. Because you can probably get similar rolls to life, mana, resistances, but just translate all of those over onto a non-influenced Stygian Vise. It's going to be pricey. All of these things are pricey upgrades, but at this point in the league, if you don't have the currency, then I'm not sure what to tell you. It's going to be tough for you to upgrade if you don't have the currency anyway. There we go. 28. Alright, what else can we tell you to upgrade? You got First Snow, nice. First Snow, nice. Clear Mind, good. Clear Mind is fantastic. Look at the increased spell damage that he's getting from that. Man, that's good. And then Self-Flagellation. Oh, nice. 20% increased damage per curse on you, and an additional curse can be applied to you. Very nice. Okay, so you're getting some increased damage through Self-Flagellation. That's nice. That's a good little trick there. Even though the curses aren't doing anything to you. That's actually pretty neat. That's pretty neat. So what is that? 3 or 4 things to improve there? I would improve your wands. I would improve your gloves, boots. And improve your belt. On the tree... This is what? 5 points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points? As opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could save a point if you do that. You would lose some percentage of maximum life and mana, but that would give you 1 additional point if you wanted to socket this jewel socket as well. Oh, you don't take Arcane Focus. Yeah, because your energy shield isn't that much, right? Yeah, it's 1100 energy shield, so you got 8,000 effective life, 8,500 effective life. I like it. I really like this build. This is a very solid build. This is a build that you could play in hardcore. Once you get it all together. This is a very solid build. Lots of damage. Because it's Freezing Pulse, it's going to be tough for stuff to hit you. Because it's a totem build, you can hang out around corners. I like it. Alright, so go upgrade those 4 things, and then you should be good. That's what I would go and do. Alright, let's look here. Alright, King Beast is the next one up, and then... Where are you, JNK? I'm looking for you, man. Maybe I missed your message, JNK. Send me another PM on Discord. Because I could have swore I saw yours. I could have sworn I saw it. But now I'm not seeing it. Alright, so we're going to go with King Beast next. And then JNK, you are next up in the queue. Alright, import. Oh, whoops. We want to actually don't save. Go to a new. Import. And let's go. Let's do this. You are next up, King Beast. We're about to feature you. Alright, so let's see. Legend says, it plays amazing, and I've added my own switch for bosses with spears. Very nice. Okay, very nice. Using ice spears on bosses. I like it. Tristende, he's not reflecting the curses, he's just removing their effectiveness on them. So... TM Squared says, if I sent you my POB right now, would you be able to get it into mine? Most likely not, because we've got a very, very long list of people that we're waiting to get to. Alright, so JNKZ is going to be next. And then we'll go on from there. You know, if I was a greedy MFer, I would just say nobody gets any of their POB stuff unless they do a super chat thing or whatever. Or unless they do a stream donation. I can't stand it. I guess if you're a big-time streamer, like if you have just got thousands of people who are in your chat and you literally can't see anybody's message because there's thousands of people spamming in chat, then it makes sense to actually put like a monetary value on somebody messaging you. But I don't know. To me, that just feels wrong. I don't know. If that's your livelihood, then I guess that makes sense. If that's your job, if that's your work. But I don't know. To me, PoE is a hobby. Like, I'm very excited and very glad that there's value in it for everybody else, and I'm thankful that we've got Patreon supporters who appreciate the value that we put into things. But because of those Patreon supporters, I don't feel like it's justified to be like, hey, we ought to charge people extra for, you know, to be able to actually interact. Like, I think that's kind of lame. But who knows? Who knows? I'm sure other streamers have got good reasons for why they charge for certain things. Okay, so we are looking at another Deadeye build. Same principles. We're going with Gathering Wind, Far Shot, Ricochet, and Endless Munitions. We've got Acrobatics and Phase Acrobatics as our defensive layers. We've got a Lionized Fall because we're grabbing all of the claw nodes. That's the classic Lionized Fall position. We're also using Inertia. Why are we using Inertia? Dexterity from passives and radius is transformed to strength. You cannot be maimed. Okay, maybe that's why. Nope, we've got another Inertia, which is Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on you. So we are a strength stacking build? Yeah, we've got 340 strength, 219 dex, 5,000 life. Ice Shot is our main skill. Okay, let's go take a look. We've got Temp Chains. Wait, are we a Headhunter build? Is this a Headhunter build? No, it's not. Okay, I was about to say. If this is a Headhunter build, you don't need my help. Oh, that's funny. Alright, so Ice Shot is linked with added cold damage, hypothermia, cold pen, inspiration, elemental damage with attacks. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to tell you right off the bat here is why the heck are these all 10% quality? So these should either be 20% quality because you traded in the gem with 1 GCP at level 1 to a vendor in order to make it a 20 quality level 1 gem. Or if you don't want to waste time because you already want things to be level 20, then you probably should have used all your GCPs on all of them, right? What's the point of going halfway? So that's kind of interesting. Barrage is your weapon swap setup between Ice Shot. Where's Ice Shot on? Ice Shot is on your body armor, and then Barrage is in your weapon. Added cold damage, elemental damage with attacks Empower and hypothermia. Does Empower really help Barrage that much? That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. Huh. PGB Heart says, if you have 10k people in chat typing 5 to 10 messages a second, there's no way to keep up. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You have notes in the tab. Okay. Build uses Assassin's Mark for crit. This is the first person to actually give us notes, by the way. If you've got any kind of time that you can dump into Path of Building in order to leave notes for somebody else that's giving you advice, this is the best spot to put it. Build uses Ass Mark, which is Assassin's Mark. I'm just going to add that in, because otherwise I'm going to be laughing the entire time. I'm sorry. I'm juvenile. I'm sorry. Temp chains to slow and help in my evasion. The strength gems are there for the coil to raise strength above dex to add life, but also make me immune to ignite and freeze. I hate those. The int gem is there for stat requirements. And my gems are corrupted to give me immunity to corrupted blood, hinder, maim, silence. Nice. The idea is to build as much immunity as possible in evasion and 75% dodge with Vol Grace. I bolster that with Ice Shot, In Chill, and Freeze to add even more defenses. If I can slow and chill, then I can evade them in a perfect world. I also scale crit, but I don't see how I can milk out more HP. I would love 6k, but I don't see how it's possible with the unique set in my build, so I can't get life rares anyway to get more HP without losing my damage. LOL. Okay, so now we see why it's inertia. I get it now. Thank you for including those notes, actually, King Beast. That's great. I love that you actually did that. Jitter says actual man baby. Yes, that is me. An actual man baby. Alright, we've got Immortal Call, Cast when damage taken, Steel Skin. We've got Hatred, Precision, Herald of Ice with Enlighten. We've got Flame Dash. Okay, there's our cast speed. Vol Grace, Vol Haste, Withering Step, and Increased Duration. Okay. Alright, I now have a better sense of the build. Now, what's going on with your items? You're using Death's Opus, so that way you fire 2 additional arrows. Makes sense. Other than that, though, there's just got to be better rare bows, right? Rare bows ought to actually be relatively cheap this league, right? Nobody's using rare bows. It ought to actually be pretty easy to pick up a bow this league, right? A rare bow, a well-crafted rare bow. Alright, you're using Void Fletcher, which consumes the Void Charge to trigger level 20 Void Shot when you fire arrows. Makes sense. You gain a Void Charge every 0.5 seconds. Yeah, this looks like a really fun build. The couple of Ice Shot builds that we've looked at this league, I know everybody's going to say it. I thought this was a bow league, right? Bow league. Everybody give your best bow league memes in chat. Bow league. Oh, man. I thought this was a bow league. Because it's such a bow league and because it's so popular, there have to be rare bows out there that beat some of these unique bows, right? There's got to be. Okay, moving on from that little rant. Rune Crest, the Harlequin Mask. Okay, so one thing you could do to get closer towards 6k life. I mean, the life roll on this naturally is just atrocious, right? If you can get better life roll on this helm, everything else on this helm is glorious. Like, I can see why you're using this helm. Fantastic fire, fantastic cold, fantastic lightning, fantastic physical damage taken as cold. You know, that's fantastic. The evasion's really low on the rating. Like, ideally, if you could have that be a 500 plus evasion rated helm, that would be ideal. And not on a base that's a Harlequin Mask, not on an ES base mixed with hybrid evasion. You just want that on a flat 500 evasion helm or 400 evasion helm, and then with a naturally rolled 70 to 80 life on it. But that's going to be pretty expensive, so don't hear what I'm not saying. I get that that's going to be expensive. You're using Hiri's Ire. Of course you are, because you want the chance to dodge. And then, of course, it gives you a whole bunch of increased damage, because that's, holy crap, as much flat damage as basically your bow itself. It's 21% of your damage is coming from that, which is ridiculous. What is your total dodge chance, by the way? You're capped. You're at 75%. Okay, good. Your gloves are Ox Arm, which are giving you curse enemies with level 10 Assassin's Mark on hit. That's where you're getting that. And it's corrupted to give you level 11 Temporal Chains on hit. Okay, that's really good. Did you allocate Whispers of Doom? Where are you getting an additional curse from? Somebody help me out here. Where are you getting the additional curse from? Oh, from Windshriek. This is where. You can apply an additional curse. Okay. I was like, where are you getting this curse from? Okay, that makes sense. So Oxarm is going to curse enemies with both Temp Chains and Assassin's Mark, so nothing should be moving quickly at you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's nice. This is good, dude. This is a good build. Cold damage leeches life. Okay, that's going to be essential. What's your life leech rate at? Over 1k? Yep, 2k. Because you probably do Volpact, right? Yep. Good lad. I like it. Okay, then you've got the Cyclopean Coil in order to make sure that you can't be frozen. Yep. Good. So that's your elemental ailment immunity, basically. Then you've got Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline. You've got a Diamond Flask for bleeding. You've got a Bubbling Divine Flask for curses. And then you've got Aziri's Promise for even more life leech. And then what else? Dying Sun. Okay, for additional projectiles. I like it. Hi, I'd like to buy your 11 Ancient Orbs for my 5 Exalted. Okay. I'm happy to trade those to you. And then we will set this at 1 to 2. Ta-da! Yeah, so what did we spend on those beachheads? We ended up spending like 8 Exalts for 22 beachheads. And what do we have now? I don't know. I think we had 1.2 Pure X drop in Exalted Shards and then 5x worth of Ancient Orbs, or maybe even 6 or 7, depending on if those actually sell for half an X each. Yeah, so I would say increasing your life rolls, right? Your amulet has got a good life roll on it. It's decent. It's a good amulet across the board. I see why you're using that. A good, excellent ring over here. Ideally, if you could have had some flat cold attacks. Ideally, if we had our other guy who had all of that flat damage from his Ice Shot build. Man, that ring that you saw must have just blown your mind, because that ring was absolutely disgusting. That was on the previous build. That was fantastic. Okay, and then this is what's giving you, what, the corruptions? Yep, corruptions, so no corrupted blood, no maim, and no hindered. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you really don't have much to improve here in terms of the way of items. If you could get this with flat cold damage, that would be good. If you can improve the life roll on this, that would be good. But it's going to be really tough to get those resistances. And then, again, your helm is already a great helm, but if you can get some better life rolls on your helm, that's going to be some considerable boosts. And then in terms of beating out Death's Opus, there's got to be a weapon out there that can beat this. There's got to be, right? Let's take a moment and go do some research. Let's look at PoE Ninja together. Go to builds. Let's go take a look. Who's using Ice Shot? 4% of the league and 79% of them are playing Raider. No, Deadeye. Alright, so let's look at somebody who's not quite level 100, because level 100 does nothing for us. Let's just look at this guy. Oh, he's a low level or a low delver. He's not going to be a good thing to look at. Nope, Death's Opus. What's the percentage of people using Death's Opus? 59% of people are using Death's Opus. Is it really that tough to beat Death's Opus for Ice Shot? Is it really that bad? I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Okay, well, other than that, here's what you can do. Here's the other things that you can do. The other things that you can do, honestly, if you want to get to 6K, is you can just say, you know what, I'm done with the inertias and with the fertile mind. It's one thing you can do, and be done with Cyclopean Coil. It's just one thing straight up across the board that you could do, and then go to a Stygian Vise. That's what you could do. It would mean sacrificing, hey, a bunch of elemental ailment immunity, but it's one thing that you could do. So it depends on how much you really hate elemental ailments, and it also depends on how much you like all of those jewels that tell you, hey, you cannot be maimed, you cannot be hindered, etc. But you've got a really good setup. But that's what, 3 jewels that you've got that are dedicated to that spot? 1, 2, 3? Yeah. Plus your belt? No. Go away. I'm not doing X. I just want the chaos. Thank you. Just chaos, please. Alright. So let's get on to... Don't have? Okay, then go away. Go convert your X into chaos somewhere else. I am not a conversion station. Alright, let's go back to our next build. So that's what I would do. I would improve the 3 rare items that you've got on your build. King Beast, and then other than that, you got to make a decision on how committed you are to that Cyclopean Coil. Because that's a whole bunch of jewel slots that are committed to that. Okay, so here is JNKZ's build. He says, Impale is not calculated in POB, and Savior isn't calculated as well. So far as I did everything besides Uber Elder in current league, I'm getting some currency to craft new gloves and an amulet. Besides that, I would love to hear what I can upgrade. Okay, so we're now featuring your build. JN. Alright. So let's take a look here. Alright. We are a duelist. We are a slayer. We are using Cyclone. We are taking the crit wheels, and we're staying mostly on the left-hand side. Good lad. You've got Volpact. So far, so good. Under Butt Nut Hut. What a nice name. You, sir, have got an excellent name. Exceptional name. Exceptional name. I wish I could commend it instead of reporting it. You know? Like, I like it that much. Wish I could give you a thumbs up on the forums or something. Under Butt Nut Hut. A true poet! Ladies and gentlemen, a true poet of our age. Under Butt Nut Hut. Okay. So, we've got a Cyclone duelist boy. Question is he dual-wielding or is he two-hander? His average damage right now is 1.3 total DPS. His Impale DPS is 1.4 mil. Total DPS, including Impale, is 2.8 mil. That's what we're looking at. So, let's take a look and see. This is a long way up to travel for a single jewel node. But I guess he's coming up and grabbing Devotion. You've already got Golem's Blood. That makes sense. You're level 95. How are you level 95? Are you level 95? If you're level 95, then you should get what? 4 more points? What level are you? Ah! I'm so confused! Oh, man. I'm very confused right now. Okay. Not going to worry about it. Alright, so let's go look at your Ascendancy. Endless Hunger, cannot be stunned while leeching. Brutal Fervor, life leech are not removed at full life. Okay, great. Headsman, cannot take Reflected Physical. And then we cull stuff that's at 20%. Great. Love it. My favorite build. Okay, we have got... Oh, nice. This is the jewel that drops from Cirrus. So this is what's allowing us to grab Panopticon and Blade Dancer. Why are we grabbing Panopticon? Why are we grabbing a totem? Is this a totem build or is this a cyclone build? How are you doing 2.8 million DPS on your cyclone, but you're... What? I'm scared to click on skills, but I'm gonna do it. Is it because of your war chief? That's not a siege ballista. It's just increased totem damage. You're just really that interested in getting the totem damage. Okay. I guess. I guess. I'm sorry. I don't get it. 50% effect of totem buff to buff totem? Oh, okay. I mean... I guess that's good. Right? So, the reason why he's saying this, for those of you who are in chat and you're like, what the heck? Why would you do this? So the buff that Ancestral Warchief gives you is it gives you more melee damage. So, it gives you 18% more melee damage while the totem is active. So a 50% buff to that is another 9% more multiplier. So, that's pretty big. So I stand corrected. That's actually a pretty clever use of that particular jewel. But I was very, very scared that I was going to go from this to clicking on skills and then have you be some kind of siege ballista build. And I'm like, what? How? What? What? I'm very thankful that this is the reason why you're using it and not something else. We were going to have another conversation entirely if that was the reason. But we don't have to have that conversation now. So moving on. All right, so on your Cyclone, you've got Cyclone, Pulverize, Melee Physical, Brutality, Impale, and Fortify. I personally don't like Pulverize that much. It's a lot. It's a lot of damage. But I generally don't like it that much. That's just a personal playstyle thing. You don't need to change your build because of my personal playstyle preferences. That's just a me thing. That doesn't need to be a you thing. Okay, so we've got Pulverize set up along with Cyclone, Melee, Physical, Brutality, Impale, and Fortify. We've got Blood Rage and Punishment, cast when damage taken, Flesh and Stone and Pride, good. Molten Shell, cast when damage taken, increased duration, good. Precision, Dread Banner, Herald of Purity, good. Man, if you guys are not using Herald of Purity, by the way, and you're a physical build, you are missing out. Like, if you can use Herald of Purity and Pride, those are two massive, massive DPS increases. So, if there's any way that you can fit in Herald of Purity and Pride into your build, do it. Your build will thank me later. Alright. What else do we got? We've got the Ancestral Warchief, Leap Slam, Faster Attacks, Blood Magic, and Commandment of Flames that's based off of our items. Okay, so our Jeweled Foil, is this a good one? Yeah, this is a good one. It's 450 physical DPS, 1.8 attacks per second. So if you, ideally, in an ideal world, if you could increase your attacks per second, you'd want to roll attack speed on this. But this is a really, really good sword. You're then using the Savior, because that's increasing your DPS by a whole bunch, because it's creating another little version of you that's running around and cycloning as well. Whenever you are critting, right? So that's quite good. Flexion is quite good. Then in your helmet, you've got Sorrow Cowl, which gives you 6% of physical damage from hits taken as lightning, 85 to life, fire, and lightning, and then it gives you some flat accuracy. That's good. What's your chance to hit? 97%? Okay, that's good. If we take this off, what does it drop down to? 91%, yeah. So that helmet is make or break for you for the accuracy. Your body armor, socketed attacks have minus 15 to total mana cost, good. Flat life, 88, 10% increased life, good. Lightning resistance, good. regenerate 1% of life per second. I don't see attacks have got a bonus to their base crit rate. So that's one thing that you could upgrade. Okay, if you could upgrade, you can get one of those new influence chess pieces that's an astral plate that it's quite good. Just straight up is quite good. It's going to boost your DPS significantly. You want to buy 140 of my stack decks? Go right ahead, buddy. Come right on in. Let's see here. Do we have any of these chess pieces that I can show you just to show you the DPS increase? I don't know if you're looking for more DPS or not. If you're not, Gene, KZ, that's totally fine. But it's a significant amount of DPS that gets increased when you choose to do that. So let's look. Critical strike. What's this line called? I've even got one of these right here. It's called attacks have. Okay. Attacks have. So let's take a look. Six link. And let's check and see. Oh, it's not socketed attacks, it's attacks. It's just attacks have. I must have searched for socketed attacks. Okay, so let's take a look. I need to go D&D or just sign off. Yeah, I should just D&D. There we go. So let's copy this guy's chess piece for a second. Let's just copy this. Copy item, create custom, create item. All right, add to build. This is going to be the Viper's Cloak. Let's see what this does to our damage when we change from the Ghoul Mantle to the Viper's Cloak. Wow! Look at that DPS increase! So Ghoul Mantle, our DPS is 2.8 mil. When we swap over to the Viper's Cloak, Viper's Cloak really isn't great. It's just got on there, where is it? Viper's Cloak, the 1.5% to critical strike chance. Goes up to 3.2 million. So it's like 400,000 damage right there. If you're able to get something like that. So, now that's a 10x chess piece. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Just want to throw that out there. It's not cheap. But that is something that you could do. Alright, in your gloves, you've got flat life, and then 3 crafted modifiers, increased damage while leeching, and increased damage during any flask effect, nice. And then flat attack speed, nice, along with the implicit 20% increased melee damage, nice. Then on your boots, you've got max life, fire, cold, move speed. Why do you not have tailwind on your boots? Get tailwind on your boots. Look at this. I've done this throughout the day. Let's do this. I'm smacking people who don't get tailwind on their boots. Here's boots. You have tailwind. Just take a look. Take a look. These are 1x, 3x, 7x, 10x. Okay, if you're gonna upgrade your build, put 3 to 10x into your build and go get tailwind. If you're saying, yeah, but Iron, I don't know if it's really that good. Take a look at your damage, like with tailwind. It's 300,000 damage right there. You go up from 2.8 up to 3.1 million damage. Look at your attack rate. You go up from 11.23 to 12.35. It's over 1 additional attack rate. Like, you'll go faster. You'll just go faster. You'll be critting all the time anyway. You're going to go faster. So everybody's always saying, oh, well, I'm a Cycloner and I want to go fast and I need a move speed flask of adrenaline. You don't need that. What you need is tailwind boots. Get tailwind boots. Okay, enough of my obsession with tailwind boots. These are good boots. If tailwind boots were not a thing, if tailwind boots did not exist, then you wouldn't need tailwind boots. So, alright, your amulet. You have no resistances on your amulet. So if you're looking to replace your resistances from your tailwind boots, go out and get another amulet. Less attributes, more resistances. That's a lot of crit strike multi and crit strike chance. And it's a good amount of attributes, but that's another thing. Alright, your unique rings are the Circle of Guilt. Both of these are going to be Herald of Purity, I assume. Yep, Herald of Purity. Look at that. There's a whole bunch of damage. Whole bunch of damage. Increased Frenzy Charge duration as well. That's pretty nice. Your belt is the Perseverance Belt that's been corrupted to give you some flat armor and evasion. Which, of course, is giving you 1% increased attack damage per 300 of the lowest armor and evasion rating that you have. which is your armor and your evasion. So armor is definitely higher than evasion. So evasion rating is 1300. So you're getting 4% increased attack damage. Then you're also getting 17% chance to gain Fortify when you stun an enemy with melee damage, and you have Onslaught while you have Fortify. But you've got Fortify on your Cyclone, so we're also going to have Onslaught as well. So that's quite nice. So we should do that as well, because we have Onslaught. We always have Onslaught. So really you're at 3 million DPS. So whatever I was saying earlier about 2.8 going up to 3.2, it's now going up to 3.4. If you get some Tailwind on there. And if you get those increases like we're saying on your chest piece. Okay, let's take a look at your flasks here real quick. Bubbling Divine Life Flask of Staunching Immunity to Bleeding, Immunity to Shock, Immunity to Freeze and Chill, Diamond Flask, very nice, and then Lion's Roar, very nice. Your sockets are a Prism Jewel, which are a Crimson Jewel, which are giving you percentage life, elemental resistances, crit multi while dual wielding. Another one with life and attack speed, good. One with global physical damage, elemental resistances, crit strike multi with one-handed melee weapons, nice. Maximum life, elemental resistances, and crit strike multi. And corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you, reduce mana cost of skills, increase attack, and increase crit strike chance. So that's good. Those are all good jewels. Those are all good jewels. Are you missing any of the Impale nodes? Nope, you've got all the Impale nodes. Alright. Other things to consider. I'm glad you actually came up and got Gladiator's Perseverance. I'm noticing a lot of players are missing out on that. It's a good node for both offensive and defensive needs. It's quite nice. I would say one thing to consider. These are good life nodes here. These are good life nodes here. You're already level 95. What's your life rating at? 5,500? This is another thread of hope, isn't it? Yeah, that's what's giving you sovereignty. And that's what's giving you discipline and training. Okay. I think one thing that I would go for is I would actually go for a Watcher's Eye. I would go for a Watcher's Eye to replace one of these, and go for a Watcher's Eye that's chance to deal double damage with Pride. If you just want to go for the big bucks. I think that's what I would do. I think that would be my suggestion for you for JNKZ. I think. Go for a Pride Watcher's Eye. I mean, what are they going to cost? Like what, 40x? Is it really that bad? Is that what Watcher's Eyes are now? Let's look up. Watcher's Eye. While affected by Pride. Let's look here, Pride. Chance to deal double damage while using Pride. Let's see. Is there anybody that's got one? These are 2x! These are 2x jewels. Look at this. 8% chance to deal double damage while using Pride. Easy. That's an easy boost to your damage. Easy boost to your damage. Also, I believe there's the Impales last for an additional hit with Pride. Where is it? That one's usually a bit more expensive. Yeah, that's 11x, 11, 13x. Yikes. Yikes! Oh boy. That's fair. Alright, well thanks so much to everybody for watching the stream tonight. I am going to go eat some dinner now. So thanks once again for coming by, hanging out, and watching the stream. Tomorrow I'm going to try to stream even more. So those of you who have been crying out, G3 Iron, why don't you ever stream? I'm streaming a whole bunch this league. So if you are interested in hanging out, if you've got a POB that we did not get to today, we will be playing more tomorrow as well as looking at more POBs tomorrow on stream live. So if you've got any questions, you can always join our Discord. For those of you who are Patreon supporters, thank you much for your support. If you're interested in supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form, you can drop us tips directly through PayPal, or of course you can sign up to monthly support us through Patreon. We've got a whole bunch of different promotions and different rewards for Patreon users, including giving away things like mouse pads, as well as doing t-shirt giveaways. So we do all those for our Patreon supporters. Big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters once again, and shout out to all of our Discord members who help make our community such a wonderful place to hang out and to be a part of. If you would like to join the Discord, you can do that. There is a link down below in the video description. There will be another featured build video later on in the week, but tomorrow I am more focused on just streaming and hanging out with you all rather than pumping out a whole bunch of videos. So if you enjoy these streams, make sure that you tell your friends, make sure that you share with your other guildmates, because frankly, I need to know whether or not people enjoy the streams versus people would rather have more videos, because I can do either one. I'm flexible. Anyway, thanks once again for watching, and I hope tonight or today is the day that a Mirror of Calandra drops for you.